Science rules.
All right, it's Friday Triple Comms. We are totally on time. Welcome.
Absolutely. Not late at all.
Not late at all. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. It was Christmas this last weekend, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was Monday. Last Monday, right? This Monday.
Yes.
This Monday. Fuck. It was a time. It was a time ago.
It's all a blur.
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
It really is all a blur.
Yeah, we got a new guy.
Yeah.
It'll be Le Mustachio.
Weak chin LeBlanc. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit! Weak chin. Oh, he's got the glass chin. You know what that reminds me of? The old Punch Out NES game.
Yeah.
Soda Popinski, the big old Russian with the twirly mustache. He's got the glass jaw.
Yep.
Blast from the past, man. Fuck, I haven't played that game since NES was kind of new.
All right.
Well, not new, but super.
How was everyone's Christmas? You guys anything good?
Yeah. Like it's funny because when you're a kid, you want toys, and when you're a little older, you're like, oh, I want this cool thing, and then now at my age, I'm just like, what do I need? Like, my pans are getting old. The Teflon's coming off. I'd like a new set of pans. So I was like, hell yeah, I got new pans. I got like a set like pots, pans, a couple stainless steel frying or like saute pans.
Nice. All I wanted was to spend the time with my family, and I got to do that this year, which was great.
That's good.
Yeah. I bought a cast iron pan a long time ago, and I've never used it because I didn't know that seasoning was a thing on those that you have to do. And I was like, oh, well, how do you season it? Because it said it came pre-seasoned or something. I'm like, okay, cool. And then you get it, and you're like, oh, no, that's rough. Yeah, it needs more seasoning. And I'm not a chef, but And then I looked in like, well, how do you season it? It's like, oh, you got to put this oil in it and then wipe it down and then just like roast it in an oven and it's really smoky. It's a big smoky process. I'm like, well, I can't do that in my apartment. Fucking set the fire alarms off and people would probably
You
call
could
it
do it in
fire.
a barbecue.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
fire.
I do it in a barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I'd have a bunch of black smoke rolling off the balcony and people would probably call the fire department like,
Oh.
something's on
It's-
fire.
it's
over
It's
there.
not that much. It's not that much. I have
Usually
I
not
have a
that
bunch of
bad.
cast iron stuff.
We do it in our house. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't made butterscotch
It's
from
just
scratch yet, Val. I'm gonna try that
smells funny for
tomorrow.
a day.
I'm gonna try making the butterscotch tomorrow.
Hmm.
Because no stores sell butterscotch. I went to Walmart, I went to Super One, I went to Safeway, I went to Yolks. Like, I've tried all these grocery stores. They'll have like 20 chocolate options, 20 caramel options, 0 butterscotch options, and I have this whole thing of ice cream, and I want butterscotch for it because it's just not ice cream without butterscotch.
Do they sell the butterscotch chippets, like the chocolate chips, but butterscotch?
Probably, and I know I could just melt those down, but I was like, I'm already committed. I have brown sugar, I have butter, and I have cream. That's kind of all you need, and salt if I need
Right.
that too, and vanilla.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to try that, and it'd be pretty neat. So I'm just gonna have that for breakfast, ice cream and butterscotch. Breakfast at noon, because that's probably when I'm gonna wake up.
Another great thing about being an adult.
Yeah. But yeah, should we hit the horn? Or go around the horn, I mean?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Agroth,
I'm drinking another one of these New Belgium holiday ales. I still have a couple left.
Are they good?
That's decent. Like
Yeah.
it's got a kind of neat, I don't know, spice smell to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
nutmeg?
spices real well, but yeah, probably some holiday
yeah.
spices.
Yep.
I couldn't drink like a ton of them back to back. Like I wouldn't say it's like crushable, but I could have like
Right.
one or two and enjoy it, and then like I gotta switch to something else.
Nice. So I got probably a combination of things I'm gonna be doing at some point, but I'm still doing the gin and juice thing. But I got some raspberry lemonade
Ooh,
to go with it.
Like
And
that'd be good.
Then I also want to try. So I got some of that vodka left, and I got this strawberries and cream Dr Pepper. I'm gonna see if that tastes good together. Might not, but
that sounds good.
LB.
I have a little bit of Glenlivet 18,
The scotch.
a scotchy
Nice.
scotch, and then once that's gone, I'm still working on the Whitewater Brewing Company 12 beers at Christmas.
Oh, yeah. How many?
Well, the-
What one are you on now?
I'm on 8, so this is number 8. It's called Pie Hard.
It's
It's a
Christmas beer.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says it right on it. It's a Christmas movie. It's lemon meringue lager. I don't know how that's gonna go,
Ooh,
but
I'm
Okay.
curious
we'll see
to
how
hear
that
about
is.
that.
That might
Yeah,
not be
yeah.
bad.
And then number 9 is Sharp Dressed Turkey, and it's a dressing brown ale. I don't know how that's gonna be, like a
I
savory.
fucking
Like
love
a-
dressing,
dressing brown ale, like
Yeah.
Italian.
stuffing, breading, whatever.
Oh, I was like an Italian dressing, like just oil and
Depending
vinegar.
on where you're from, people call it like.
It
Oil
says
and-
it says on the back, this dark beer is full of all the familiar savory spices that will complement every turkey dinner this holiday.
Oh, so like dressing like an all dressed beer.
Like stuffing.
No, stuffing,
Oh.
like breading, stuffing.
Yeah. Oh,
Another-
wait, you guys
yeah.
call it
It's like a
stuffing
science.
dressing?
Some places.
No, some places do. Yeah.
Oh.
I-
I'm
Ackroft do,
aware
so
of
it's not-
it.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I think
I think we
dressing,
call
I
it
think like
stuffing where I'm from. but
yeah.
I
When I hear dressing, I think salad dressing.
Yeah. No. It's, I guess in some places, dressing
heard
is
of
another
lots of
word
ways,
for
yeah.
stuffing.
Yeah, or putting clothes on.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So we got those two. We'll see how those go.
Oh no,
we just
Oh,
lost
we
Skyhawk.
lost Skyhawk.
Sky. And it was about to be him. Wait,
Oh, he's
Redline.
back.
He's back
Wait,
from outer space.
Red line's next, anyways.
Yeah, red line. What's
Yeah.
up?
Alphabetical order.
R
do you
goes first before S.
You are
I
S,
am
dude.
actually enjoying something this week called Knob Creek. I don't know if you've heard of
Oh,
it. It's
yeah,
a
I've had Knob Creek. It's not bad.
delicious hickory whiskey.
Yeah, Knob Creek's pretty good. I mean, R is before S, unless you're doing a sobriety test.
And now S is gone.
No, he's back.
S is
No, he's
gone.
gone again.
No,
It's
he's
gone.
gone
I
again.
don't see
He's
any
really
S
good
here.
this time.
All right, we'll just do this till he's back. Skyhawk, what did you? Damn it. All right.
There
There
he
he
is.
is. He's
There he
back.
Sorry, for some reason my Discord just like completely took a shit on me.
It's
Whoa.
okay. It was for the drama.
Ray Dan, the science man.
No, it didn't do an update. It just all of a sudden froze completely.
Ray Dan, the science man.
I didn't kill it.
What are you drinking?
Great.
Science rules.
Crimson King dihydrogen monoxide,
Mm.
Kirkland brand, no less.
Hmm. Oh, so we joked around about thick water. Like we were gonna take heavy water, and I was gonna bottle it and call it thick water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually water called thick. There's a brand of water called thick water, and it's
What?
yeah, and I think it's like the
I
they
must
use
go
like the
Google this.
congealing stuff in there, so it's like almost like a gelatin type water. I think, and I was really upset that someone took, but now it's not heavy water. It's like I guess it's for people that have like throat swallowing issues. Like there's some conditions where people have like really thin esophaguses, or they have like esophageal conditions or like diseases or something that makes it hard for them to swallow. And I guess the like goopy,
Whoa.
like thick kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The viscous,
Consistency?
the viscous water.
Viscosity?
Yeah, viscosity. It's a pretty thick viscous water, and it's like
Well,
supposed to help them swallow it easier, which I don't know. It's like you would think that liquid would be easier to swallow than like goo, but what do I know? Yeah, water that chokes you.
Jeez. It's for the elderly.
Yeah.
So I was attempting to find, something like this, just because I was curious, and I came across some art someone made of a potential bottle design if you ever wanted to market some thick water.
Is it some?
I
just
put the link in
some
in
big
Twitch
old,
chat.
big old thick hips and a booty.
Thick water. That's a thick bottle.
Let's see, where'd you put it?
In Twitch chat.
Twitch chat.
Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that's good. Okay.
Read
Oh
that.
yeah, going all cool, going Kool-Aid man on that bottle.
Yeah,
Extra
it's the
thick,
thickest stuff.
dude. Hell yeah. We should patent it. And then we also have to put a disclaimer on the thing that we're not responsible for any injury or death that comes from drinking
Just put a
heavy
big
water,
waiver on
like
there that
actual
it's
heavy
like-
water.
Like, this is for novelty.
It's like,
only,
do not
for
drink
consumption.
more than one, like than 2 ounces per week, which would
As
actually be
I-
fine.
As I go down the rabbit hole of Google image search on this particular topic, I've never seen atoms sexualized quite like they are in that image.
Wait, Adam? You mean Eve?
No, atoms.
Adams.
Atoms.
Oh,
ATO.
atoms.
Also
Yeah.
in Twitch.
I was thinking like Adam and Eve, like because the
No.
bottle you put up there. I was like, no, that can't be Adam.
If you look at the molecule of a water molecule just right, oh boy.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like
Oh yes.
I mean it's got the
Got some
Two-
curves.
yeah. What's this going on? Look at it
What do we
pouring.
got going? A mysterious Galnet crate 2.
Oh, is there drops right now?
There currently is a mysterious Galnet crate 2.
I think I got that
It
one
ends
already.
Saturday, December 30th. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah, I was watching some streams the other day.
I wonder if I missed some sometimes.
Might have been yesterday.
I
And
just assume that I missed some.
They had drops on, and I
Mhm.
watched for like an hour, and I looked, and I didn't. It doesn't even show that I can receive it. That I had no progress.
Maybe they don't really have drops on. Maybe they were lying to you.
No, because when
Yeah.
I went into the channel, the little drop down, they're like, this thing has drops. You click here to check your thing.
Oh yeah.
But now it's going.
Maybe you're held up on an old drop. You got to claim them.
No,
but I
no, I
think
was.
lately
I
they've
double
been
checked
making
that.
progress.
Yeah, but now it's working. Since I started this one, which I'm wondering because it was on Lucky's stream, so I wonder if when his channel got punished, I wonder if his drops thing came off.
Oh maybe.
I don't know.
That's possible.
That would suck.
I kind of doubt it, but maybe.
Yeah, it had the. No, I didn't have it unless it's no, because I see it now, Val. So and they're saying that it was there before. I don't know. I'm confused, but it's working now. I'll have it. I'll have it tonight. I'll get my Galnet avatar skin.
Hell yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Down that avatar skin.
I'll get my Galnet Archon skin. I'll put it on Dominarch's Archon.
So are you saying that you have it?
No.
Jay did join PL, remember?
Hmm.
And he's already
No.
over some deals.
Drayden got it in a Secret Santa.
I mean, I have it for now. We're passing it around like the Stanley Cup right now, so.
Very nice.
Everyone's got to get their grubby little paws on it. They don't wash that thing, do they? They just isn't it
Surely
like,
they,
isn't it like sacrosanct to like wipe all the
disinfect it?
fingerprints?
No,
and
no,
everything?
no. There's a staff that follow it around and they wipe it down
Oh, really?
regularly. Yeah.
Oh,
That thing is polished to hell and back.
yeah. I thought
Yeah.
I wonder what
thought
sort
it
of
was like
wild shit
some.
it's seen though.
I thought it was like some kind of sacrosanct thing. Like you don't clean it or what? It's like you just leave all the hand. I was like, man,
It would look awful.
everyone's grubby little paws on it. Like how many people are catching Hep C from that thing?
Drinking like sugary champagnes and shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard stories of like, because as a member of the winning team, you're allowed to like take it home
Yeah.
with you and stuff.
Doesn't like each player get it for like some amount of time, a
A
week or
certain
two?
amount of time. Yeah, yeah. And I've heard like dudes bringing it back to their like condo and just like using it as a dish for the entire time they have it. Like, I'll just eat my cereal out of this and
Hell
fucking
yeah. I mean, why not?
whatever.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
What is
Yeah.
it made of? Is it just silver?
I don't think so. Yeah,
Oh, that's it.
I mean,
it's
Hey,
gonna
Google.
it's gonna tarnish. It's gonna tarnish really easily. Yeah,
What
that's
is
cool.
the Stanley Cup made out of?
According to Wikipedia, the original was made of silver and is 18.5 centimeters high
Silver.
and 29 centimeters wide. The current Stanley Cup is topped with a copy of the original bowl, made of a silver and nickel alloy. It has a height of 89.54
Okay, thank you.
centimeters and weight.
Silver and nickel alloy.
Yeah,
Yeah, the original one was pure silver, but
pride is more resistant to dents and things like that. from
yeah.
dropping it.
Also, silver by itself tarnishes if you don't
Yeah.
like keep up on it and stuff. So silver nickel
Mhm.
probably just prevents the tarnishing, and it's stronger.
reduces it anyway.
And it's also probably a little cheaper, and it's probably less heavy.
Maybe.
Reasons. I didn't know they made a new stand. I thought there was only just the one. I didn't know they remade it.
yeah, I didn't know that either.
I do know that the names kind of roll off basically as new ones get added and they run out of space. They roll the oldest.
Oh, because it's tiered. I thought they just kept adding cakes.
I thought
Onto
that,
the
yeah,
thing.
that's what I thought too. Is they kept adding layers to it.
Imagine
That's
when
why it's-
eventually,
that's why
I
it's
read
shaped the way
otherwise.
it is.
imagine like 100 years when like, here's the Stanley Cup. It's like coming in on a forklift, because no one can carry
Yeah.
it anymore.
It's a 3-man lift to carry it around
Yeah.
the rink from then on.
A Zamboni forklift, a Zamborklift. But anyway, not a whole lot of Eve news this week
No,
that I saw.
Was
Uh,
it
the only real thing that popped up in our news feed was the
Oh, we got a rating.
gift. Oh, shit.
It's Mr. Unlucky. Rating
now you
234.
can yell at his drop.
Oh yeah. What's up, Unlucky? Welcome everybody. We're having some drinks. Hope everyone had a nice Christmas break. But I had a question for you, Mr. Unlucky. I was tuned into your stream. I think it was yesterday. But I was watching for a little bit, and you got the drops on. But I wasn't getting. Well, here's the thing: I wasn't getting any progress. But also, it wasn't just that I wasn't getting progress. I didn't see the current campaign item available. So I don't know. Unless the one that's on now is a new one for today. Wait, you don't have to be partner. You still had drops available, though, I thought.
We're not partnering.
Mhm.
We've got drops.
Yeah,
in
we're
our
not
mouth.
partners.
I'm not partnering. I have drops on my stream.
Did you? Yeah, we're not partner. We have drops on. When you
They
had
probably
the
blocked it for just you.
When you had the suspension, did that like take the drops off of your channel? I don't know. No.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I was just confused.
Maybe yours was
They left
hung
them?
up on something that you didn't redeem then or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I checked all the things. Everything that was there was redeemed. It was, I don't know. I probably already claimed it, and maybe the one that's on there now is like a new one from today. It's my best guess, but I don't know.
It'll say
It's a
when this one
mystery.
started.
We need the X-Files sound. Damn it.
Thought we had that.
Manic has it.
Manic does.
Yeah, Manic has
that's
all.
why.
Our sound producer's gone. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh,
Can people
no,
even
you were
hear
saying.
us?
Probably. I hope so.
Hope so.
No, yeah, they can because he was answering.
I'm totally kidding.
God damn it! You always make
Just
him
sounds
question.
funny. Our sound producer's gone, so we're just gonna do the show
Oh,
without
yeah.
sound.
Yeah, he chose grass. Damn. With oh yeah, what I cut you off, LB. You were going into the new stuff.
The only real thing that popped up was the free gift in the New Eden store.
Oh shit.
Oh
is the,
yeah, I haven't cleaned that. I'll have to get that.
Yeah, get in there.
Tomorrow. I'll have to get that tomorrow.
A Yule
Don't waste time,
Yule
'cause it ends on,
Festival
like, the second.
celebration crate. 20 free Plex and some fireworks, as long as your character has played more than 3 hours between the dates of 1 December 2022 and 21 December 2023. So your alphas that you played with, and the accounts you no longer use, if you've played 3 hours for them in the last year or so, they're entitled to 20
Get you
free
some
Plex
plug.
from the New Eden store and some fireworks. So
And then
log
stack it
on,
all up on one character
get
and then
that
do
stuff.
something.
Yep,
Sweet.
that's right.
20 plex for each
Yeah.
character or each account.
Account.
Oh,
I
that's
got
like
160 free Plex. Thank you, CC boy.
sick. I'll get 40.
Make sure you head to the store and pick up your Yule Festival celebration crate before 4 January. Otherwise, they will disappear.
The one thing I did, it's coming up next month soon. So there's another Vanguard test next month.
Yep.
I think they have the dates for next month. I don't remember what they were. It's like mid January for like 3 days. So there's that. The other thing I saw was, you remember that board game that they're working on with Titan Force they announced in
Oh, yeah,
FanFest and stuff? The
they had it at FanFest,
Kickstarter, the Kickstarter starts next month for that. So that's not a guaranteed game. They have to do a Kickstarter campaign for it, but the campaign starts next month. So
Did you play around with that at all at FanFest?
I
LB?
walked around it a little bit.
Or-
No, I didn't get to play with it. No,
Okay.
I
neither
walked
did
by
I.
it, and there was always people at the board game playing it. I never got
Yeah.
a chance to.
I took that as a good sign, but I didn't get to touch it either.
I mean, it looked interesting. The map was kind of cool. It's got. I feel like it's a game that I have a handful of friends out here that well, one of my friends owns a gaming shop over in Spokompton. It's not like a video game shop. It's more like, board games, Magic, D&D, like those kind of shops.
I would love to own that kind of shop if I just had money to burn.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's a cool shop, but and him and a handful of my other friends, they're big board game nuts. They love, and the more complicated the better. I can't remember that one game, but it's like a space board game that's super complex. Like the rules book is like reading a novel. They're into all that kind of
EVE
stuff.
Online?
So no, but I was like I was looking at the EVE Online thing and like the board and the pieces and stuff. I'm like, I'm sure this would be a game right up their alley. They'd probably actually like it. They might not like the video game EVE Online, but they'd probably play that. So maybe I can convince them to play with maybe I'll have them order one if the Kickstarter's successful.
I thought it was the Kickstarter had reached its goal.
No, I was
yeah.
looking at it. The Kickstarter campaign starts January 2024, so sometime next
Okay.
month. They were announcing it probably to generate some hype so that people were gonna, because if you're like, there's a Kickstarter right now, some people are like, they aren't ready to pitch into that. So
Yeah.
I just love how full circle it is that EVE Online was funded originally off of them making a game that was
Mhm.
sold in Iceland, And now there's a board game being made about EVE Online.
Well,
I
there
like
was
the full
another.
circle of it.
There's a previous board game of EVE Online.
Well,
that
there's
was-
a trading card game too. Like that was when we were at CCP headquarters for the charity dinner. I've got a picture that I took somewhere, but they had a couple like framed prints of uncut cards from the EVE trading card game.
Well, trading card. But I mean, like there was an actual like full on EVE board game. It was a long time. I think it was out before I even started playing EVE. I think it was like sometime between like 2009 and 2011 or something like that.
I vaguely
might have-
remember something like that.
I might have missed that then.
Here's the link in chat for the Kickstarter.
EVE Conquests. Yeah, EVE Conquests was the old board game. It came out 2009.
That was the year I started
Interesting.
playing.
I kind of, you remember the old playing cards with, people. Someone was making it as kind of like a trading card game with people's faces, like gaming people. So they had like,
Yeah.
Elise and
Yeah, I had one of those cards.
MacTep. Yeah, wasn't there a Redline card?
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a
It was
MacTep
really
card,
cool.
but I think there was a MacTep card. It was old enough. I think he was still
You're
around.
talking about just like it's just a deck of cards.
Yeah, it's like
No,
magic.
no,
It was like
no.
magic. It was like a play, like cards where like you'd play them, and each card based on the pilot would do things.
Oh. Gotcha. Okay, I was gonna say because Bjorn B, CCPB gave me a deck of cards. I think while I was at Pampa.
Oh.
With like,
Oh,
and it
really?
has notables' faces on it, like Mannix on one of them, if I recall.
Oh yeah. So that wasn't an actual official card game. It was like someone made it as like a
Yeah, I think I remember that on Reddit.
as they made a bunch of digital art things of it as a kind of like a just for fun thing, and
Yeah.
it was all the stats and abilities had something to do with like stereotypes of that particular player. Like Grath had like some kind of rage mechanic and stuff like that. So
I'm sure Elise's card had something to do with morale posts
or Taylor Swift.
or Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Morale because of Taylor Swift.
I summon Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 3 additional cards from my deck.
Yeah, the fuck.
Do we know when Vanguard comes back around playable?
It's
25th
January.
to 29th. 25th to 29th of
29th.
January.
We have to do another. We have to squad up again.
100%.
I hopefully.
Yes.
So that it's bugs, fixes, and stuff like that. I hope they add in some kind of. I can't imagine that they won't.
Excuse me.
Yeah, double negative correctly there.
Excuse
Hey, what's up?
Oh, hello.
my deck doesn't have any bad cards, Kaiba, but it does contain Exodia. So,
Who is that?
Wow.
I don't know. If that's-
Exodia.
Exodia, bro.
So I don't know who that is.
You gotta assemble all 5 parts of Exodia and then automatically win the game.
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like third episode, Draven.
That's
Come
unique.
on,
I haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh.
bro. What? It's like one of the best fucking shows ever.
Yeah, I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh. Do I gotta
Blue
start
Line.
now? But no, I was gonna say for Vanguard, I hope they add some kind of like corp or like grouping mechanic other than just friends list. Because
Can they add new weapons? Portal Wars?
yeah, well, I mean, obviously they're going to add new weapons at some point. I hope they have a new
At least a
weapon.
pistol
I mean,
sniper
I
or something.
I expect that that's what they'll add when, like, in their timeline where they mentioned, I think some new functionality getting added. I bet that'll be it.
Hopefully, now they have the. Oh, that's I don't know if we talked about the roadmap last week. Did we?
No, not really.
Yeah, not a whole
I
lot.
kinda
So there was the roadmap.
glossed over it.
So each month, like every month, they're gonna have a playtest session, and they're gonna. But the first few on the roadmap, I think, were just like bug fixes and just fixing stuff and making it work better, optimization and things like that. As opposed to, so the last one, I think it was like June, is when they're gonna add a new map. So it's gonna be the same map for the next 5 months.
But maybe we'll finally be decent at the map by the end of it.
Yeah, we'll just know it, and hopefully the mini map on LB's game will work correctly and
Oh,
actually
so
show
that-
stuff.
Oh, did you have that LB as well? Fuck, I don't
Yeah, his map was empty. It was just a flat map with no icons or anything on it, and all of, I was like,
so annoying.
it was weird because I was opening a map, I'm like, oh, it's over by. You guys see the circles here over by this? And he's like, I don't see any circles. I'm like, what do you mean you don't see any circles? I looked on his screen. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with your map? Turn the icons on, dude.
Exactly the same problem, but yet you zoom out some bit, and it just kind of like at the side, it'll just like they'll be there somewhere, you know.
Yeah, like if I turned it at the right angle and looked like out of the side of my eye, I could see certain icons on the map. But as soon as I tried to like move the map again, they would all disappear, and I'd be like, "Well, fuck." Oh,
Yeah, it's mine worked fine. All my icons showed up.
Yeah, it's like I think the clone machine is over here somewhere to get you guys back. And let me run around for the next half hour.
I'm gonna go with I feel like all the people that were having issues were playing on 4K. So 1080p supremacy, 1080p for life.
Sorry,
I was only on 1440.
Not 1080.
I guess, yeah.
No. But yeah, I hope they do add guns before that, some more guns, because it's like one gun with two different types of ammo, which, I mean, the different types of ammo don't change how the gun works. It's just damage type. So it'd be nice to have something else, you know, a sniper rifle, a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like a semi-auto kind of assault rifle, I guess.
Well, you have that
Like a marksman rifle, like a
Kind of
long
like
distance
one of
kind
like something you use like an ACOG scope on. You're like not something you're just gonna like, you know, like you're like kind of like it's more like just
something like
not a sniper rifle, but not like, you know, assault
Yeah, yeah.
rifle. Yeah, it's kind of like the in
a
between.
marksman rifle.
A
It's in
marksman
between.
rifle. Yeah.
There you go.
DMR.
Yeah, some pistols would be nice.
No,
Grenades.
not a DMR. DMRs are trash. They're the worst.
What is a DMR?
Just because you're just terrible. That's
Is
all.
that-
No, you're
is-
terrible. I'll 1v1 you right now, any map, any
Well,
day.
fucking let's go, man. Let's go, Rust. 1v1, bro.
Oh, is it Rust? I was like, is the DMR something from Tarkov?
Well.
I haven't played that, but
The DMR stands for designated marksman rifle.
oh,
360
Gotcha.
no
It's-
scopes only, red line.
360 no scope your mom in the.
got him.
I find that quite offensive. Not.
You probably should.
Oh man,
But
would
it's
that
okay.
that'd be
Get away with it
satisfying.
because it's my brand.
Yeah, I don't know if in like they obviously won't put it in Vanguard, but yeah, I agree with Valley. In any game you play, I don't think there's anything more satisfying than the M1 Garand like ping when the clip's out.
Oh,
God, that's the most satisfying. It's like normally when you run out of ammo, you're like fuck. When that one, you're like, oh yeah, and you put a new stripper clip in.
A few years ago, I used to be big into airsoft. I actually had one of those airsoft M1 Grands, dude. They were fucking unreal.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was
Did it make the ping?
I think so, yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, these like fake bullets and things.
it was like there was like a Battlefield one of the Battlefield games I played. It was like a war, not 1942. They might have had
Bad Company
Grand,
too?
but no, not Bad Company. It was Battlefield.
Battlefield 1 was like World War One-ish, I think.
Yeah, but this was like the newer one that was
1943.
I think it was just Battlefield
thing?
2, wasn't it? I don't remember.
Battlefield
Oh,
1.
Or maybe
Battlefield-
no, not Battlefield.
Battlefield
It was the more recent Call of Duty one that was World War II. That one definitely had a Garand in it, and it was satisfying.
Modern
that-
Warfare 2, 3.
Hmm?
That one?
No.
Yeah, it might have been Call of Duty 2. I don't know.
Nah, Battlefield 1, World War 2, fucking M1 Grand.
Did Battlefield 1942 have? I mean, I feel like it would have to.
Of course
have
it
the
would.
Garand.
1942 had it. 1943 had it.
Do you know what
I
the
think
good game
in-
that has it?
Hmm.
Dave Defeat Source.
Oh, dude, don't bring that up. I used to play competitive Day of Defeat Source, man.
Still a good
Back
game,
in the
dude.
old days.
Yeah.
Ugh,
No, I
I hated
never-
the M1 Garand. I always use the Thompson. Like, I don't know how you guys can use a single shot gun in an FPS game. Like, I don't get it. It's not even a good gun.
Just aim.
You just like to
It's-
reload?
It's more power. You don't.
Dude, like,
You don't have to hit with as many bullets to do more damage. It's a higher muzzle velocity, higher, like it's
Yeah, more
what
recoil,
round did the
harder to aim. All
what-
these things are true.
did the Garand use 7.62? I don't know, but
No.
it definitely was a bigger caliber.
30-06.
Oh, 30-06. Okay.
Yep.
It's more powerful than whatever the Thompson used, though.
Yeah, the fun thing on the Thompson in the game is like your left click was like full clip, and then like once you're out of a clip and the guy standing next to you, you press your right mouse button and you're literally fist pumping the fucking guy till he's dead.
Yeah, like I'm usually not as good with fully auto guns in FPSs. I either like the semi-auto or the I did in Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, I did like the M16 with the 3-round burst. Like that was pretty nice.
Now see, so burst, I mess with that. Like burst is cool, but just a single shot, I can't do it. Can't
The
Oh, I
sniper
like that.
rifles and
As long
Java
as
sounds
it's semi-auto. I'm not a big fan of bolt action unless I'm sniping. Bolt action just yeah. But then again, like you're probably not taking a bolt action into, close combat.
Not
I would
anymore.
hope not.
Not anymore. Could you
No.
imagine like muzzle loading? Like, oh man, what if they did like Call of Duty 1776?
Oh my god.
Call of Duty Revolutionary War.
Thanks Unlucky for the good sub.
No, it's
Actually, I'd play that.
I would play
I
that,
would
dude.
play that.
You would play
Yeah.
a Revolutionary War game?
Either that or like French
what, for
Revolution,
fun?
like Battlefield
I'm thinking
1793. That would be cool.
I'm thinking the guerrilla warfare
You
stuff
know what?
from the Revolutionary War
Oh.
actually would be fun.
Yeah. I mean, like that had to have been like the worst fucking warfare. It's like you didn't hide behind anything. You just stood just up in front and like
Napoleon told me
100 to
Alright,
200 feet
alright,
away from the
listen
people,
here.
and you just stand there while they're shooting at you, just standing there reloading. Like,
No,
fuck
you
that.
walk towards them.
You
Now,
walk towards them, then you
listen here.
shoot, and then
This
you
is what
start.
you're gonna do. You're gonna walk up towards them. You're gonna stop, stands completely still, and then shoot.
and fire.
Yeah,
And then reload while you're walking up towards them again.
yeah, and then you got the cannons like firing too. Like they just like
funny, dude?
got giant ass
Like-
cannonballs coming at you. You're just standing there. Fuck that.
If you actually played Napoleon Total War, the cannons had actually at the time you could upgrade them to a burst spread, so it's just like
Like
literally
grape shot.
100,
Grape shot.
100 degrees, and they're just like walking at you, and you just like the whole fucking house just
gra-
fucking
Grape
massacred.
shot was the well, it was closer range, but it was very effective
Yeah.
anti-infantry. But I mean, you would use the big cannonballs so you could set the artillery way back behind your lines and shell the other side without putting your artillery in danger. But
I think I need to go do strats, boys. At like 2:45 in the morning, so I get this shit done, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
yeah, see, man.
Have a good night, man.
Be safe, bud.
And Happy New Year's to everybody.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
New Year's.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing a New Year's stream Sunday.
Nice. I'll be streaming as well. I got a
Oh, cool.
fucking Phoenix Navy to give away, dude.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
I can't fly. That's like the one dread I can't fly, but I'm gonna get on that.
well, like, do you want me to post a link for you?
Yeah.
2 seconds, get the browser up here. It is a Gleam.io link. I know some people are like, with Gleam.io, but fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
I,
So, fuck it, it's free to enter, dude. Shut the fuck up. So,
I have a
click the
game.
link
I have a
and do it.
game for you to look at.
Hmm?
Hold fast. Nations at war.
Oh.
I feel like I've heard of it. I might even have it.
You
It's
have heard
it's
of it.
fucking
2020,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Quite popular.
I don't play a lot of other games.
That's just the actual like the simulation accurate Revolutionary War, right?
This
That's
doesn't look like
yeah.
Revolutionary War, is it? This looks European.
It's
Is that-
Napoleon.
Wow.
It's Napoleon.
Okay, I was like,
era.
that looks like a-
Believe it or not, Drayden, Europeans were actually involved in the Revolutionary
well,
War.
true, but it was
It's
specifically.
like 40, 50 years after that era. as the
well, I was gonna say it was
Revolutionary War
specifically
came,
Britain. It was Britain and eventually France. But I mean, I was like, this dude with on the little thing of the game, like the guy in the blue. I guess that's the French guy, but It's like,
Wee
oh,
wee wee.
what are these guys in the white?
Oh,
The white with the blue pants, is that Prussia? Or white with
That
the
the
yellow and black
Americans?
flag? That might be
Oh
Prussia.
no, that's French. Blue and white, I think is.
Well, blue and
French.
white's French, but I'm seeing these guys, they're like in white and they have like a flag that's like a gold and black thing. I think that's Prussian.
That's pirates.
I think it's Prussian. But I mean, like, Napoleon was fighting. It was literally like all of Europe.
Yeah.
I just got
mostly
done
English.
listening to.
England and Persia, that kind of area.
Well, Napoleon. Like, so
Dude,
I
this
was
is
listening to
best to
a
go for Russia.
podcast on the French Revolution. It was like Napoleon was, at first, he was going against Austria, and then England came in, and then eventually Prussia came in. You have Spain coming in, and then like off and on, like some of them would leave, and then like Italy, he was going out and fucking around in Italy with Napoleon was going down there, even though he wasn't necessarily supposed to. But then he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go down here." And then the
I'm a
Austrians
small man,
surrendered.
I can do what I want.
Yeah, it's like the Austrians surrender, and then he goes to Italy. Then he starts having he starts having issues somewhere, and then Austria's like, we take back our surrender, and they go back to war again. Then he crushes them again, and Spain comes over, he crushes Spain. Portugal, he also starts having doing invasions with Portugal. A small stint of a small like pseudo naval war going on in the Caribbean between France and the US during that time, but it wasn't like really a big thing. But then Austria comes back, Prussia comes back, Russia gets into it, and he goes to invade Russia. There was like first, second, third, fourth coalition. And like a bunch of times it ends up being like 3/4 of Europe versus Napoleon. And it was some wild shit.
But have funs. I'm out. Good night.
See, man.
you say bad.
Right.
Wait, homeboy's just gonna diss Napoleon and roll out like that? Is that for real?
Well, the funny thing is like,
Who's gonna? How dare he diss a short king like Napoleon?
well, hold on. So I know there's like the stereotype that like everyone's saying he was short, but
He was short.
He was
What?
5'9" or 5'8".
That's short, dude.
He was now,
Hey,
but
shut
Not for that era.
no,
not
but
for that
back
era.
in those like the average height of men in of the world has gone up over the last few hundred years. So like, or a couple hundred years. So like back in Napoleon's time, he was
So-
actually average height for a man. 5'8",
I-
5'9" was
I'm-
average
I'm-
height. Now it's
I'm gonna
5'10".
I'm gonna have to actually you.
Oh,
Encyclopedia Britannica cites interpretations of his death certificate. Cite him as being between 5'2" and 5'7". Wikipedia
Oh.
lists it at 5'6". So there's
no confirmed.
there's conflicting things, but it's consistently within the range of 5'2" to 5'7".
Okay, well, 5'2" would be short. 5'7" would not have. That would have been like maybe an inch
5'7"
less than
would
average.
Also be short.
That's like an
By
inch.
Also, I don't
today's-
think people have gotten.
Why
that
are we
much
shaming
taller
people
over
on
the
Yes.
last-
The
Also,
average height has
exactly,
gone.
We're not
has gone up.
shaming people. I think Napoleon accomplished great things as a short king, and that is fantastic. But Mr. Unlucky made fun of him for being short.
Well, I'm saying
So-
like, the average height for men
It's
today
okay.
is like
It's fine.
5'10". Back then it was 5'8". So
How
So,
do you know?
well,
Who told
so-
you?
So to give you the
I
weren't
specific
there.
numbers,
I wasn't
over
there
the
with
last 150 years, the average human height in developed countries has increased by 3.9 inches.
bam.
How do you know? You weren't there, dude.
Because there's
Correct.
measure. There's
I wasn't, but
records of
many
people's
people
heights.
were, and many people
You don't
Okay,
have
but
to have
how
been
do
there.
they
There's
not lying
records
to
of
you?
people's heights. Yeah. So like
How do you trust these people with your brain knowledge, huh? How can you?
because
I don't trust people. I trust the data and the
Yeah,
statistics
it's. I mean,
and the methodology.
if you
Who
never
finds
trust
the
anything, you
data?
don't. If you don't trust anything unless you see it with your own eyes, then everyone's a flat earther, and I hate that. So
Oh no, not a flat earther. Digital earther.
the Earth is digital. Is this a simulation?
It is.
You're the
Sick.
simulation.
Sick. Awesome. Anyway, where were we?
Right.
We've,
I
We were
Yeah,
going to
no, I
talk
was
about the
actually-
Vanguard roadmap.
we went from Vanguard and
Yeah,
EVE
wow.
Online to is Napoleon
Napoleon.
short or not?
Right.
what led us
I-
there, I wonder.
Call of Duty FPSs, which then led to Call of
Yeah.
Duty, which then led to fantasizing about musket warfare in Call of Duty. I don't know.
I love
Yeah,
our
that's
tangents,
exactly what I
though.
meant.
The
Weird.
chain of our tangents is pretty great sometimes.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
So what is the roadmap for Vanguard? I haven't seen it. I've been so busy
So
with holiday stuff.
let me get you a link to the blog
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
the fucking Twitch chat there. Boom, there you go. And then about halfway, maybe a third of the way down the article, there's a picture of the roadmap.
Yeah.
And if you click on the picture and zoom in, you can read it. Like,
Oh, okay,
really
yeah,
quick.
you can read it there. Yeah.
So
Okay, perfect.
the 25th to the 29th is the next play test. That's going to include a minor patch, which is going to look like bug fixes, balancing, launcher and installation fixes, server support for 2 new regions, Asia Pacific, aka Seoul, and South America.
Yeah.
Um,
So basically,
tiered-
this whole thing is just bug fixes and
most of
little
it, which
patches
I'm,
and,
I
and
mean,
new
like
rewards.
it's
But
super
it's-
early
Yeah.
alpha, so I'm
But yeah, it's
glad that
6 months
they're
out, and it's just
yeah.
one map, one new map, weapon
Yeah,
modifications.
but
That's weird.
you got to think this is super early alpha, and they're wanting to make sure
Yeah.
the gameplay and the core gameplay works before they start working on peripheral stuff like guns and maps and stuff like that. I'm fine with that, like because I feel like that gets their priorities in order. So
Once you already have the basic fundamentals down of like an object in a video game, like a gun, like because it's going to have like from a coding perspective and development perspective, it's going to have its own attributes. So really the only thing different on the development side about new guns is different attributes plugged into it.
yeah.
Like,
Plus
at the most
visuals, which
fundamental
is
level.
easy.
Yeah, so like it's don't worry about extra guns like that. That is super easy.
Those would be a lot easier to add than as opposed to fixing server issues, fixing connection issues, fixing launcher issues, and those are the things that's like that takes the time and the thing
those
is
are
like,
the things that will kill
yeah,
a game
it's like-
early on too, right? If it doesn't work, then no one's going
Right.
to play it.
Yeah, it's like you could have
Yeah, like,
a
you-
cool
you
plethora
work
of
on the-
guns, but if the game crashes and fucks up all the time, you're gonna be like, "Fuck this." So,
That's people still play Eve. What do you mean?
Yeah.
They're following like a really good standard, like just proper way to actually do this development.
One
And
thing
it
I
makes me really happy to see.
so one thing I do see that aside from the new map, weapon modification sounds cool in June as well. But March, look at March, mining prototype.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Mhm.
If you
I'm
want to
intrigued.
do mining on the ground, but I mean that's interesting. So that there's gonna be like mining missions and shit like that. So that adds a whole new, like, you don't have to be into FPS gunplay as much as so to say. Although you'll still have to shoot people if you want to mine and not die. But
I am
just
intrigued to
debate
see what that looks like because I enjoy mining in space. We'll see if I enjoy mining on land.
yeah, it's probably just gonna be like a big old mining laser that you walk around and mine ore sites with, I would guess. But
Maybe.
Is it not just picking up the ore stuff that's there?
you gotta go pick up rocks. Oh shit! What if you're like playing on maps where like it's a moon
No, don't
and
you
the big
remember
old like
there's- there's literal mining pickups in the game
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it those? Or is
It might
something
be.
different?
what's this mining
might be that-
prototype?
Yeah, so it might be that that mining sites that you come across where like the NPCs are mining whatever.
Yeah.
It might be that now you can like grab hold of their equipment and actually do the mining yourself to gather resources, because resource gathering is a big deal. in the
Yeah,
game,
people
right?
love that. I think that would be actually pretty cool because not a lot of FPSs have that kind of stuff in it. But
Rust has it.
mine. Well, yeah. I mean, like Rust feels almost like it's like a survival game with PvP aspects in it. I don't know if it's as much like a FPS game. It is first person, but it's kind of like Ark. Would you call Ark a first person shooter? I mean, I guess if you look at the game file, it's like Ark shooter game is like the file name and stuff. So maybe, but
It's a good point. You bring up a good point. You bring up a really good point. Would I call Rust a shooter? No, I don't think I would.
yeah. So it's as far as like actual full on dedicated FPSs, I don't think there's a whole lot of ones where you go in and like can do mining stuff with. But mining is a pretty integral part of Eve. So putting that in the game,
There was a
get the
game-
industry guys in there.
There was a game years ago, like when I was in high school, that came out called Savage, and it might have been a third-person shooter. I think it could be first-person, depending on what kind of weapon you had. And it probably was actually first-person. I can't remember, but either way. So each side could mine, could help with construction of buildings, and each side had one player who was like essentially playing from like RTS view and could like build base defenses
Mhm.
and whatever things that would build like RTS kind of units, like upgrade their capabilities and stuff. I don't know. It was really fascinating, but it was one of those things where like most of the time, yeah, it made sense not to sit there and like mine, but like in the early game when you were just getting started on like a match, then like yeah, it could help you get like a little early edge and stuff like that, or like your base people moving in on your base, you help with construction real quick to build some guard towers or something. It was a super fascinating game. It made me sad. Like it died sometime years later, but
Rip. Dead games.
yeah, man.
Sorry, I was typing. Yeah, so I mean that seems cool. I'd like to see what the mining thing is. I'd like to shoot a bunch of mine. You could shoot miners with the.
Yeah.
I love how the like
Calm down, miner.
Well, I love the thing where like every time you get the CCP stuff where they're talking about Eve or Vanguard, it's like boots on the ground. It's like boots on the ground, boots on the ground. It's like you get those little like slogan phrases that just become part of the campaign, the advertisement campaign. You just hear it all the time. So it's like every time, like, hey, we're glad everyone put boots on the ground this time. And at FanFest, like, we're ready to put boots on the ground. I think the presentation when they were doing it at FanFest, I swear she said boots on the ground like 8 times. Which I get it. It was just kind of funny. I'm like, all right, yeah, boots on the ground. We got it.
Just so we're clear, your boots will be on the ground in this game.
Wait till they add jetpacks.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Boots in
they
the
gotta
air?
have, dude, boots in the air.
Boots in the air, dude. Holy.
Dude, they gotta add jetpacks in this. They'd be crazy not to. Also, they gotta add some kind of like mech suit. Dude, they might as well like. I mean, don't copy Planet Side, but hey, the mech suits are cool.
Why not?
People like mechs.
Why not copy a successful game in some
I think
aspects?
there's legal implications to that.
Well, no,
you can't
not
call it
like,
a mech
not
suit,
like
but a
straight up
mech.
copy. But like, wouldn't you want to take good features from other games and kind of tweak them
but I
and add
mean,
them
it's
to your
like a mech battle suit thing is not like an original idea by Planet Side either. I mean, tons of sci-fi stuff has had mech combat suits in there. Like 40K has the Terminator suits, or the no, not the Terminator suits. The what the fuck are those things called? The Walker
I
things
liked
that
Terminator
the Space
suits.
Marines have. Fuck.
You mean like power armor?
Well, the power armor is just the Space Marines, and then you have the Terminators, which are like they have the Terminator armor. But then there's like the Walkers, like the mech.
Dreadnoughts.
Dreadnoughts. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Dreadnoughts. That's what I was thinking of. And then the Imperial Guard had the ATST looking things, the little Scout Walkers. That's actually a total ripoff from Star Wars, but like those are actual ATSTs with an open canopy, pretty much. But pie hard.
Time for pie hard.
So I've tried it. I've sampled it, tasted it. You know, like that lemon meringue pie tastes like it's a sweet, but it's a tart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I'm not a huge fan of lemon meringue.
They got that in this beer somehow.
Oh.
Where's that from again?
Whitewater Brewing Company, and they only do this during Christmas. Is they come out with all these weird, wacky flavors, and they call it the 12 beers of Christmas, and you have to buy it as a set.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Brandon's here. I mean, Bizarro Bike. My bad. Ah, shit! I just. God, I'm doxing people left and right.
To see if I can get
damn.
any of that stuff here.
It's all right. It's a first name. You should be all right.
I don't know that you can. I don't know if they're international yet. We have weird rules with beer.
I know. I did. I'm not even. I mean, I've only had one drink, Brandon.
Well, and here
Bizarro,
in my state, things are complicated too with liquor because like the state handles all like importing of liquor basically, which is irritating.
My state's apparently really friendly towards the craft brewing thing, but then like the double-edged sword is that then it makes it really hard to break out of the state. So like usually once they start getting some clout, then they get bought out by like an Anheuser-Busch or something.
Right.
Like my absolute favorite beer, Spotted Cow from Naglaris Brewery, they do not distribute outside of Wisconsin. They like expanded to Illinois at one point, and then they rolled it back because they're like, we actually don't want to get this big.
Spotted Cow. Is that the cheese thing?
No, it's a farmhouse ale.
Oh, I thought Spotted Cow did cheese stuff.
Cheese beer.
Laughing Cow. That's what I'm thinking of. They do the cheese.
Go get you some baby bells.
But yeah, so but I
Don't
mean,
eat the
yeah,
red part.
that's obviously gonna be a long ways down the road. And again, like adding new guns is one thing, but adding mech suits and stuff like that would be, and jetpacks, that's a whole new can of worms.
That's a ways down.
Yeah, that's stuff that they would be completely new game implementations. That would take some time to code in and
Like I don't
work
even
out.
know if that's applicable for the game style they're going for. Like 3-man squads.
I think a jetpack, like a
big-ish
scout,
map,
a scout type
but
would
like-
be. And the things like eventually they're going to have it to where you can have different armor and suit choices and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know if they'll do it just like Dust, where it's modular like an Eve fitting, but I would assume it's going to be where you pick different armors, like a light armor, a heavy armor, a medium, a scout thing, a stealthing. Man, a stealthing suit would be. That'd be one thing, but like I
had that.
feel. Yeah, I could see it being a thing, but I would assume a jetpack scout type of thing should be in there at some point.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
We're still a
What-
ways off.
Do we get it all the way down to the to June? 'Cause June is when the good
Yeah,
stuff.
June
comes out,
is the
right?
new map.
Yeah.
What was the
New map. Weapon mods,
weapon mods?
session persistence and fitting, additional activities and objectives, bug fixes, balancing, and more.
Session persist. So and fitting. That's the key word. So that makes obviously that's where the new suits and stuff are gonna probably come in.
I think that's where we're going to
So I
see
would
stuff like
imagine.
that.
Yeah, suits. Session persistence. I don't know what that is.
So that's going to be things from carrying over from like
Oh, okay. So when you it's kind of an extraction shooter. I know a lot of people are saying like it's not an extraction shooter. It kind of is, but I'm fine with that. But so yeah, the stuff you take out of a map, you can bring into the next map type of thing.
So I'm interpreting that. Yeah, I'm interpreting that in two different ways.
Pick up other people.
One-
Well, if you have suits and other people die and lose a gun, weapon. If there's weapon modification, maybe you kill someone, you take their weapon mods, and you then
Yeah. So
what
take
I'm
that out.
what turned to the session? What was the...
Session
persistence.
persistence.
Okay, yep, that's what.
So I could see that being like the gear you pick up and the ammo you have from one session will roll over to the next session. And the other thing I'm thinking of is like after every playtest, I think they're wiping servers and like any progress you've made gets like eliminated. Perhaps after this June playtest, when you participate in a playtest and you make progress, that progress will roll over to the next playtest, perhaps.
Possibly. Or they might allow persistence for each playtest and then wipe it at the start of a new playtest, maybe. But eventually, I mean, once you start getting... I'm assuming any progress that gets to be kept in early access, once they're like, okay, game is done, launch, it's going to probably start everyone at clean slates. They're going to probably do a wipe at that point, I would guess. I would hope. Actually.
But you're going to want to, at some point, you're going to want to allow people to accumulate things to see just how wild and wacky it's going to get.
Yeah, I think it'd be
To
fun.
perhaps like pull different levers and turn different dials to like make sure it's not going to get completely out of control and like certain players aren't going to be completely overpowered by the time like you're 6 weeks into like
Right.
the actual
Are
release.
we able to put the graphic for the timeline up on the stream too for people?
Let
People are just
me...
asking some questions about it.
Yeah, let me...
Yep, hold on. I got it.
Up on the screen. Or are you sharing your screen?
Oh, he put a link in.
I put a link to the image.
Okay, yeah, there's an image. Yeah. That would be probably easier because for me to put it without covering up everybody, the text would probably be too small to read. So,
Yeah, I figured you just covered it
so-
for a minute.
yeah. So here's the thing. So new map, weapon modification, which I'm hoping that also means at some point new weapons, other than just using the same gun all the way through June, and then June comes around and we still don't have a new gun. We just have a new mod. I'm fine with them fixing all this stuff beforehand, but I mean, I hope they do add a new weapon at some point, at least one or two. But the other thing is, so you got that, additional activities and objectives, so new missions, bug fixes, balancing, and more ...
Yeah.
I mean, that could be anything, right?
It could be more dots.
A boat is a boat.
More-
but
more
a mystery
dots.
box could be anything.
More dots, more
Could be a
dots, more
boat.
dots. Many whelps.
And you know how bad we've wanted one of those.
Oh shit. Incendiary rounds, burn mechanics, dots, like actual knives. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like there's the melee with the gun, but dude, we gotta have combat knives, right?
Mm.
I want a lightsaber.
Yeah. Oh, knife skins. Yeah, you gotta do the whole what is it?
Oh my god.
Fuck, what's it called?
Fucking Counter-Strike.
Counter. Yeah, I was like, what's the
boxes.
Valve FPS? Yeah, Counter Strike, dude. All the skins for the guns and knife. I can't believe the pricing that was being that they had the market where you could sell that stuff for actual cash.
It's wild shit.
And they had like the gambling and the loot boxes and stuff. And holy
Mhm.
shit! I had a buddy, Shadows. That was his game name. He would do the gambling stuff all the time with, like, he would sell stuff so he'd have money on the market, but instead of pulling it out into his bank, he would just gamble. And he just got lucky and kept getting all this shit. And he was always telling me, he's like, oh yeah, I got this thing. It was like a $500 skin. So I sold it. And then he spent like he'd get like a $500 skin, sell it. He'd have $500 instead of, like, I would just cash the fuck out at that point. Be like, $500? But he's like, nope. And then he like gambles like $300 or $400 in there, but then he gets like an $800 skin. And it's like, he just like worked his way up. And I think he ended up having like $2 or $3 grand from just gambling and selling skins and shit in that game. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he just never cashed out. I'm like, dude, take the money and run. But I say that, but every time I say that, you always come back like 2 weeks later with more money than you had before. He did eventually cash out, and then he used that plus
Paid a bunch of taxes on it.
no, he used that plus a small portion, but he bought
Finally
like
able to afford all the DLC to a Paradox game.
he bought a Mustang, like a new Mustang, and put a sexy sound system in it and stuff. I'm like, okay, well that's a smart use here, buddy.
Paid for by skins.
Yeah, it's like
RMT.
he was living at his parents' house. I'm like, oh, you had all this money. It's like you bought a car, like an expensive car with a sound system. But
That way they know when I pull in the driveway.
yeah.
Yeah. Rattle the trunk right
Well,
off
this,
his rivets.
I don't know if this was Steam's ecosystem. This was like Counter. Well, no, because that is Valve.
Oh.
So they probably. I don't know. He somehow got money though.
I mean, he says legal.
Oh, legal. Yeah. So I
Illegal.
don't think this wasn't through Steam. This was like a site that managed that stuff. It was like a third party site that probably wasn't allowed, but he didn't get in trouble for it.
That was one of the things that fucking put one of the nails in the coffins with like casinos and stuff, right? Because Valve and Steam and Counter-Strike were going through this.
That eventually, I
drama
think, came
with,
to a
like,
close with the
there
with
were-
the boxes and stuff.
There were like streamers who were in cahoots with this third-party website that was doing all the managing of skins for sale and stuff.
It might have been
They
that
were-
one because
They were on stream and the whole thing was fixed. So they were rolling for loot boxes and they were getting these crazy fucking drops. And it was encouraging other people to go in there and do it, right?
Yeah,
I think that's like one of the reasons
Yeah,
why
they might have got shut down. Yeah, Bizarro,
gambling
that's-
and gaming became like a big thing on everybody's mind at that point because it was like
Yeah.
completely aimed at children and stuff.
Yeah, this was back in like the days of it was either just prior or around the time where all the casinos in Eve were going on too. So like what, like
Yeah, I think the EU
6
was
years
kinda trying
ago,
to crack
maybe.
down on some of it. And
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
They came out hard against loot boxes and anything that looked like that and like certain gambling stuff.
Even games like FIFA that had
Well,
like a
FIFA
loot
has
box
no
mechanic in it.
soul. FIFA's a soulless like
Well,
evil
they got
entity.
Anything by EA.
FIFA doesn't give a shit as long as they get like some amount of dollars. It's like let's put the World Cup in Qatar. Why would you do that? Because they paid us a lot of fucking money.
What about the human rights? I can't hear you over this pile of money.
Well, not just the human rights, also the
Have to speak
heat,
up.
the fucking it's just you're gonna build 10 soccer stadiums in a desert where it's 120, 130 degrees in the summer and have a bunch of soccer games there? What the fuck are you thinking? We're thinking cha-ching.
Did they have issues? They had like a Fire Fest kind of. Remember Fire Fest?
Yeah.
Remember that fucking thing?
Yes.
It was like this
That-
big influencer festival where like Ja Rule and some people were building this thing. Like we have rented the whole island and we're gonna build these luxury fucking things and stuff. And then people showed up and it was like humanitarian
Half-assed.
fucking refugee tents were set up for them, and they were like, this isn't what we paid for. And there were no like artists that showed up or anything, and it was like all the logistics were fucked up. And all these rich kids were trying to get their money back and shit, and it was just a shit show. They had like a similar situation with Qatar, didn't they? Like they build all these like luxury fucking
Maybe.
like yurts and stuff, and then they got there and it was just like
Well,
not-
and
not
It
what
was,
was
like, it was like
advertised.
borderline slave labor from workers from India and stuff too. A bunch of people came over.
Yeah.
And they like then they wouldn't let them leave. Like legally, just wouldn't let them leave the country and like force them to work and like live in
Well,
like
so-
horrid conditions. It's fucking awful.
funny thing too, the guy that did that, Billy McFarland, the organizer behind like Fire Festival, and he also spent time in prison over that. He's out now, and a couple months back, he announced that he is going to be doing a Fire Festival 2 at the end of
Oh.
next year. So
Can you
he's
call it
doing
2 if the first one didn't happen?
No, right?
What?
I was reading about that a few months ago,
Holy shit.
and it's
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's I don't even know how to explain it.
He's just gonna have better lawyers this time, write up a more like ironclad thing so that he can fuck people.
Get Ja on the phone. Ja Rule needs to be in on it.
Or did you guys? What was that thing that was like several years back? Soldier Boy was making like bootleg consoles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
and-
Soldier Boy console.
well, no, it was called the Soldier Game, and everyone it was like, okay, it's a scam, but everyone was pissed off. I was like, why would you not call it the Soldier Boy? It's the Game Boy. Like, and he called it, he's like, it's the Soldier Game. It's like, dude, you're bad. You're bad at scam marketing. Like, come. And he was like, oh, these games, and he like actually made the thing, and it was like this bootleg thing that just had a bunch of bootleg Nintendo games on it, and Nintendo's like, I don't know if you know our
Super
reputation, but cease and desist, motherfucker. And like,
Yeah.
and they,
I don't know if you've heard of us, but
yeah,
we'll
like,
be hearing from our lawyers.
you know, it's like Nintendo and Disney. Who's the? I don't know who's put out more cease and desists and lawsuits, but one of the two.
Yeah.
I can
Um,
tell you neither one of them is one of the, I've gotten one cease and desist letter ever, and it was not from either of them. Mine was over downloading of Battlestar Galactica though.
Oh,
So I got
Really?
my letter from I got a letter from Comcast, like parent company.
man, it got a cease.
Oh fuck.
Uh,
They
ma-
sent those out like Bell Canada was our internet service provider for a long time, and they would send those out like regularly. But there was no like anything behind them. They were like cease and desist the pirating
It's
of
like
blah
them
blah blah.
covering their ass.
We know you've been on these fucking torrent websites, and we're like, yeah, come get us.
Oh,
And they're like, well,
mine specifically mentioned
we're
the
not.
files that I had downloaded,
Yeah.
which was literally all of the Battlestar Galactica things. And Comcast is not my ISP. Their parent company, like was it Warner Media or
Time
I'd
Warner.
have to- or no?
Time Warner became Spectrum.
What is?
I thought Comcast was its own thing, but maybe not.
They've got a parent company.
Is it like Warner Brothers or?
I don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't be Fox. Well, Fox is owned by Disney, isn't it? I think like
Okay,
ES-
yeah.
I thought Fox. Well, maybe not
No,
Fox.
so
oh
okay,
no,
so
not
that
Fox.
it's sorry.
ESPN's owned by Disney.
So like yeah, Comcast Cable is a subsidiary of Comcast, which also owns like NBC and some other like media
Mm.
companies.
It's just a big
Yeah.
media
Oh,
conglomerate.
Turner. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been Turner Broadcaster.
No, it's but Comcast, the media side is the one that owns the rights to Battlestar Galactica nowadays.
Mm.
We got to cease and desist. Well, not us, Opacom. Well, Manic, because of the Opacoms thing. You remember those like Supreme, like the soup shirts? But
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
It was like Supreme with a S-O-U-P, but he made it in the same style as like the actual Supreme shirt labels, and he got a cease and desist from Supreme, and the Redbubble took down the shirts in the market for those. So if you have a Supreme shirt, I think there's like 10 of us that have them.
Are there any Battlestar Galactica
Can't get
fans
those anymore.
here, either on the show or in the audience? Were any of
Yes,
you guys into that?
sir. Yes, sir.
I've
So
seen a
apparently-
few episodes of the
Incredible.
newer one, I
So-
think.
Yeah, so I'm sad that it's going to be on Peacock, which means we're going to have to torrent it. But apparently they are getting
Aw.
close to putting out a pilot for a new Battlestar Galactica series.
Mm.
Good.
Interesting.
More
I need
reboots.
more space content. That's the one thing that I'm missing is I just don't have enough space content to enjoy.
Yeah. I feel like the 2000s really were filled with like a lot of great space sci-fi, and I don't know, I feel like there's not as many, at least within TV shows. Like I know there's been the new Star Trek stuff, but like there was, back then there was Star Trek stuff going on. You had some things coming up from Star Wars. You had Stargate. That like I could go on and on. And
I mean,
and there's still Star
there's
Trek
been
stuff
there's
going
been a
on
few
there,
newer,
so-
like Altered Carbon was pretty good. Well, I haven't seen it, but I've heard it was pretty good. And
yeah, I just
then
wish they did a second season of Altered Carbon is all.
this
Yeah,
the
there hasn't been as many like long, like there's been one season here or there of like
the
different shows,
Expanse
but
is an
there's not, like-
exception. The Expanse was really good. That's a
Yes.
space one. The Expanse was awesome. I actually haven't finished the last season. I think I watched like 2 episodes of the newer season and haven't gone past that. And I need to because I watched all the 5 seasons before that. So
Yeah, it's a very good show.
yeah, I
The
like
100 though. The 100,
I
that's
watched
a
that.
show. It's
Isn't that?
it's a
But that's not as much
show.
space. I know they come down from space, but they're like on the planet most of the time, aren't they?
Trust, it's plenty of space.
Yeah.
It's a crazy show.
So much space.
So what's next for Eve, the space game?
I don't know. We kind of established there wasn't just a ton.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of actual news.
They're
This
kind
week.
of on Christmas break at CSP, I think. So.
Christmas is kind of a quiet week usually.
There's some
Like,
there's some
sometimes
Reddit
there's a
drama.
big fight. Ooh.
Reddit drama.
Not really
What is it?
drama, I don't know.
Yeah.
Reddit drama.
I mean,
There's,
I
Spy
did
bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna post.
Spy
I did
bullshit.
see
There's a
post.
link in chat. Fraternity Spy Masters latest hunting spy techniques, not intrusive at all. And
Well,
basically,
that
what
sounds like bad spying.
the allegation is that this guy posts links in Discord, and anybody who clicks on it ends up getting their IP logged.
Oh, I don't like that.
So something that I want to just inject into the context of this conversation here is that this sort of thing has existed within Eve almost since the beginning. Making something that does that is trivial.
But it's a breach of private information.
Yes.
It's not really private information when you're clicking on a link and like sending your data off to a thing. Like it's not.
Who are you to tell me that my information's not private, sir?
I mean, objectively, it's not.
There's clicking on a thing and giving them your information, but then there's someone disguising a link as another thing to trick you into clicking on it and giving you your information. I think there's a difference between the two, right?
Well, I would say there on that last one, that to a certain degree it's a matter of perspective, because I get that perspective. Another perspective is I'm putting out this thing that's harmless to my members, but it will help me potentially catch spies that are out to hurt my members.
Indeed.
So like there's
Sounds
perspective.
like some information that people don't need access to, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing
Same.
is though, if you're using, so in this day and age in Eve, like if you're part of any organized group, you're using either Seat, TeamSpeak, Alliance Auth, something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Mhm.
Guess what? They've already got your IP.
Yeah, I just assume
Like,
that like
it's- like, it's
everything's
just,
got my
like-
IP at this point.
Yeah, like this is like a nothing burger to me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not using a VPN, like everything you fucking click on, everyone has your IP at that point.
Well,
so.
so here's the thing, right? is that this information, if it's collected, that is one thing. But if it is stored and then later used against the person that, unknowingly provided it, that is another thing.
Well, so
And
one
thing is that private information has a history of being abused in EVE Online to the point where there's a person that plays the video game that bragged about having a database of character names to real life names that rivaled CCPs.
and so when you cross the line like that, like that's a disgusting problem. Like I don't
Yeah.
condone that. Like, and I want to make sure that's clear. Like I'm not defending Rudy and some of the things that I know that he's been accused of doing, because it's indefensible. I don't know if the accusations are true, but like if they were, like, that's just terrible shit. But I also think that, like, if you click on the link and you are not blocking your IP, you are consenting to giving your IP is kind of like my viewpoint, just from, and that's also how I approach security. Like,
Yeah,
thinking
there's
in
but the
general.
thing is, like, probably a lot of people don't know how to block their IPs.
Yeah, how do I block my IP?
Yeah.
Use a VPN.
Yeah,
Use
Or
a
make
VPN?
or make a new, refresh your IP every time you, like, start a new session on your computer.
Yeah, well,
Why can't people just be decent human
so that's
beings?
what Valamir is saying, like /IP config renew. But isn't that just like your local IP on your local network, but your
Yes.
modem
Yeah.
IP, like the IP to your network, doesn't change because that's something that's assigned to you by your ISP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can mask the IP from your specific computer each time, but you can't mask your network's IP going out unless you use a VPN, right?
Yeah. But like, and any, like, my being okay with, like, the whole IP thing literally extends as far as, you, like, because what you also do is you do that across, a bunch of different discords basically, and you can collect the IPs, and then you can do some comparisons to figure
Yeah.
out, like, oh, this person's also in, in this discord, in this alliance, and like that's how you catch them. As long as all you're doing is comparing those different IPs and where they came from, like, as in, like, which discords they were coming from and whatnot, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, that's
If-
not nefarious.
if
So that's just making sure that someone
you go
isn't like
down,
infiltrating your system.
yeah, the moment you cross over into, like, let me take this IP and see where they're from and try to, like, identify them as a human being,
Yeah, or pass that information to other people. You start like,
I mean, within the org of having, or, well, passing real life information, yes, like passing the IP stuff within, like, the people within the higher levels of your org, like, that's not necessarily really bad.
yeah. Yeah, it's essentially like well, doxing is releasing information to other people, but yeah, it's even if you're not doxing the information, just going and searching out people's shit is like not
Yeah,
cool.
like that's bad.
Yeah, that turns it over from, counterintelligence security for your group into now you're a piece of shit, like actually.
But one of the alliances that pioneered doing this, like, a long time ago, actually, is your alliance, Drayden.
What's up?
Oh
Wait.
shit.
Wait, what's going on? What did we do?
Shit.
PL's
Drayden-
been doing this shit for fucking over a decade.
Oh no,
Yeah,
they
fuck
got my
PL,
IP
man.
probably. They fucking
Oh, yeah.
know.
They probably
Oh
do.
no.
They know your real name and everything.
Yeah, well, that's because we have no less than 12 Black Legion spies still.
So, Valamir, my point is that whether or not the link is deceptive is irrelevant. The act of clicking on a link, if you're not protecting your IP, you are effectively consenting to give away your IP address, and that's just because of how the internet works.
Yeah, it's kind of like the sites now. Like now they actually bring up a thing like, we use cookies to accept. They used to not do that. It used to just be like, you clicked on our website, cookies, and you just get them now. Like we use them and you have them and we get your information and we don't. And I don't know if it was a law that was passed that now they just start telling you.
Yeah.
Probably. But the thing is, like, and some people, I don't know, it's like one of my family members, they're like, oh, when it says like, do you accept all cookies, I just close the little thing. I'm like, if you just close it and don't actually manage your cookie settings, that's the same as clicking accept all. Like, if you don't tell them no, you can't have them, they're going, that thing popping up is telling you like, we're going to use cookies. And if you don't say turn off all but necessary, like functional cookies, they're going to, then you have all the cookies accepted basically by default. So you should
What even is a cookie?
it's like a little file that I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I mean, like some of the cookies are for the site to function. Like there's functional cookies where, you know, like you click on a link and pop-ups and stuff come, not pop-ups like ads, but I mean like you click on a payment thing and a pop-up thing for like to put your card information.
Password.
What?
It's a string of characters that is unique to that session that is stored within your browser, so that when you return to the page, your browser tells the website that string of characters, and the website returns the state that it was in prior to your leaving it.
That's the most common use of a cookie. You can basically program almost whatever the fuck you want into a cookie, though.
Yeah, but the thing with but then there's also there's the cookies that are for functional stuff, and then there's the cookies that are, you know, they do for like the targeted ads and the stuff like that. So like, oh, we're just tracking the sites you go to and the or we're looking at the things you click on and stuff like that, so that we can better give you ads that are more likely to be something that you're interested in. But also that a lot of that information goes to data brokers, and then those data brokers will literally sell that shit to anyone willing to pay for it. And so that's, you know, a lot of scam places and stuff. Now they're not going to get your address. Well, actually, no, they can get your address. They can see where your IP is coming from. So they can at least get the city you're in. But it's not going to have, like, they're not going to use cookies to like track your credit card number you put in and stuff like that. But they will. I mean, there's been times like you go to a site on your phone and you click on a site, and then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, you get a phone call from a scam company. That's because that site tracked, oh, this person logged in with this phone number, and scam companies buy it and they try to like scam you with the phone numbers. I mean, like that shit, like data brokers I think data brokers should be fucking eliminated. That shit's bullshit.
Yeah. And like Valimir,
or
like,
regulated where they can't just sell to anybody.
Valimir, in an ideal world, like really, I do agree with you, and like I get where you're coming from. Just my entire thought process comes down to, like, just the reality of the world is if you don't protect your IP address, it's going to be visible. So if you want to protect it, protect it.
Yeah, there was a thing I went to. I was like going to watch a football. I don't have like any football subscriptions. It's I think it's like NFLBite.com, which I'm like, I'm gonna get all kinds of like phishing software on this, but fuck it, I don't care. And I clicked on it, and it's you can just click on the stream to watch football, but obviously there's some banner ads and stuff. But then there's a thing at the top advertising for a VPN. It's like, you should get this VPN to mask your IP because we can see it right now. And it's like to scare you. It's like, your IP is this and you're from this city right now. I'm like, fuck you. Scroll down a little bit so I don't have to see that. And out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, there we go. But it's like, yeah, I know. But yeah, it's just fucking data brokers are bullshit. Or there should at least be regulations on they can't just sell that shit to anybody. That's bullshit.
Here's the thing though. Skyhawk, I see what you're saying, right? About like when you get online, you consent to your information not being as private as maybe you'd like it to be. But the thing is that
I wouldn't go as far as saying
when you have
consent.
an opportunity to change the way that information is used and the way that it's obtained, like when you have a chance to tell someone, hey, look, you're being a piece of shit, please stop being a piece of shit, you should take it. That's what this is, and that's what this Reddit post is this person is being a piece of shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're
yoinking IP addresses with deceptive links, and that is not okay.
I think that they definitely are doing shitty things, and I think the focus here, though, is not on the shittiest things that they're actually doing.
What are the shittiest things that they're actually doing?
I mean, I don't want to stray into this is where we're going to stray into the allegation territory that I personally think is probably likely.
Allegation territory. Are we allowed to do that, Drayden?
I wasn't.
Are we allowed to do what?
I
Are
don't.
we allowed to do
I per-
allegations? What were the? I don't know what the allegations were.
I think you just have to air quotes and say allegedly,
yeah.
and then you can
I mean-
say whatever.
Allegedly doxing, and I mean it's a lot of it's there in the Reddit thread, but like doxing, and I think like some out of game. I don't know if it's gone to like as far as out of game threats, but like just crossing the very, very stark line of taking things too far and taking things out of game and involving personal information.
Yeah, I mean, so in the post here it says that Rudy has history of mixing up IRL and in-game. I don't know what that means. They didn't explain it in the post. But I think is that the allegation you're talking about?
Oh, so this is going on in the frat and horde. So this is probably not a frat or horde guy. This might be a spy that's
No,
in
it's
frat.
Rudy. You know Rudy, don't you?
Do
know
I?
Rudy.
I don't know.
I know Rudy. But
I know Rudy. You talking about the guy from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
No, not the
Rudy.
guy from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Rudy.
The guy from the Reddit post. What do you mean?
Oh, I'm talking about Sean Astin.
Why would you be talking about Sean Astin?
Because he was
The
Rudy.
greatest football movie you've ever
Greatest
made.
football movie ever made about the
Second
Fighting
grade.
Irish, and he went in for 2 plays and did okay.
Second grade.
It's not that. That's not the point, Drayden. That's not the point.
Yeah, but
He's got more heart than this whole damn team.
He's got more heart. Like, he wanted in so bad. He put all this heart and effort and everything into it, and he finally got in there for a couple plays and did something.
Now I have to listen to the Rudy theme and cry.
Yeah, it's a story of a hero.
But no, it's this guy. But I don't know what he did, or what he allegedly did is the thing.
I don't really click on any links that anyone posts unless it's in the Open Comms channel. Then I click on everything.
Yeah, no, good idea.
Well, and
Yeah, I'm
Hypervector
taking-
was in
No
the
one
Open
invite
Comms
Rudy to
Discord,
this
so-
channel because I'll click on
Oh, there's the post again. Yeah, no, I'm scared of some people having my information, and those people have my information, which is wild. Thanks, CCP Games, you fucking idiots.
it. Yeah, it's been a while. You remember Digi? Digi was scary.
I don't remember Digi.
Digi was
I
scary
remember
as
the
fuck.
active threats to my well-being.
Yeah, no, Digi was
Whoa.
scary. Digi was a guy. He was like the head of the counterintelligence for goons for a long
Black
time.
Hand.
I know
Yeah.
he did some big old doxing shit.
Well, yeah, he did a
and
bunch
he
of
went
docs and stuff,
down
but
hard.
yeah, he did. Well, because he was the counterintelligence. He used to be like a full-on hacker. Like, I think he was like, I don't know if he did counterintelligence for like
Hacker
governments,
man.
but he was like full like legit top-level hacker, and he was So he would.
What do you mean? What's a top level hacker even?
I mean, not like some hacker that's like,
You're saying
man,
shit at this
I hacked
point.
someone's
Manic
account.
Talking.
No, like he could
He's a
actually
top
hack.
level hacker.
No, like he was apparently. Like, I'm just going on what other people told me. Like, he was like knew what he's doing with hacking and
This
stuff.
guy, he's a real top guy. You know what I'm saying?
He's a
So
top guy.
he could
you
hack
know?
like businesses. He could
No,
be like
but
the Grand Theft Auto.
He would be the
Grand
one.
Theft Auto 6 hacker that hacked
No.
GTA with a fire
He-
stick and a.
He would be the
hotel
one
internet.
that he was the one that doxed what's his name from PL? Manny. Yeah, he was the one that doxed him. But it's like doxed him because he was suspicious of a character that was in Goons, which was Manny in Goons as a spy, one of his characters, and he got a hold of his IP and then hacked into Manny's network and got a hold. He started getting into Manny's computer, got through all of his search history, looked at all the search history and the stuff that Manny looked up, and then broadcast like, this is Manny and this is what he's been looking at online, and posted it to everybody.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like hacker that is not some guy that's like, I can hack your account and get, it's like, no, like dude's gonna hack into your fucking home
Publicly
computer
outed.
and get all the information off your computer. Yeah, when he did that, that's when he kind of got outed as like, everyone's like, even goons were like, yo, no, you don't do that. That's yeah, it was scary. Like
Yeah, that's
so,
a little far, bro. That's a little
yeah,
far.
it was kind of like one of those like, Digi's kind of scary, like. Because he wasn't gone from Goons initially after that, and I was just like, I'm glad I'm not like,
got away
because
with a lot of
I was
shit.
in the Imperium when that happened,
And-
and I was like, I'm glad I'm like a nobody in here because I don't want that fucking guy's eye on me. That's scary as fuck that he's gonna like do shit
And
like that.
you know, there is another post that was made after this one, that is a nice, kind of reminder. This is just a video game, friends.
Yep.
It's really not that serious. So on the one
Should
hand,
join Minmill.
this could all be completely innocent, just tracking people for the purposes of kicking spies, or it could be on a database somewhere with some punk bragging about it in a Discord server.
He's got my data.
We'll never know. We'll never know. But hopefully he knows it's just a game and he's not going to pull a digi. That would suck. Seems a decent fellow.
Yeah, that's some shit.
Yeah, I don't know when Digi left a long time ago. I haven't heard anything about him in a long ass time, but honestly, good riddance. Fuck that guy, piece of shit.
Yeah, no, it sounds like Digi belongs somewhere completely different than video game universe.
Yep.
He just keeps a lower profile now. He's probably still there.
Don't say that, dude. Do you know how many shitty people are actually just playing EVE Online on a regular basis?
Tons.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
But we know they're
I can
there.
make a prediction.
Everyone in safety. I'm kidding. I only half kidding.
Oh
Fuck,
yeah, sure.
Fuck safety.
Well, there's
What's safety
22,000
mean?
players on right now, so maybe 11,000
And that other one.
people?
What's the other one? Not safety. It's like the
Bro, post your
Black
lost mail. What do you mean?
the what?
I said post
No,
your
not
lost
Black-
mail.
Oh no, I haven't lost anything to them. I just don't like.
Oh,
I just don't like.
why
how they
don't
do
you
it.
like them?
Because fuck them. They're just like high set gankers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
good.
saying.
That's
Post your
fucking
lost
funny.
mail.
Well, but I mean, like, and then what's like the? It's like the what was James 315's thing back in the day?
Minor bumping.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean, like, what was this
Code.
alliance?
Oh,
Code, yeah.
Code.
What's like the
Code.
Code 2.0 now?
Safety.
Thorin Clade, isn't it?
No,
that's
there's another. It's like they have the same logo as Code, but instead of red, it's like blue.
Oh,
It's like the same image, but
not.
they just
Oh
like blue
yeah,
shaded it.
yeah. Bode.
Is it Bode?
Yeah, it's Bode. Blue, Bode.
Oh, there's like, fuck.
You might as well just go with it. You're not gonna figure. You're not gonna find out what it actually is called. We're just
It's
I have no idea.
fuck. It's got a name.
Yeah, Bode.
I thought
Everybody's got a
safety was
name.
like the reiteration of them.
Yeah, that's what I
don't
thought
pay
too.
attention
That's
to
what
high
I'll
sec
be
shit.
said.
Novus. Yeah, thank you, Rama. It's Novus Ordo. That's what it is.
What is it? New Order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Novus Ordo. It's literally the same logo that Code used to have, but instead of like the orange, they blue shaded it, and it's yeah.
Do they do the same thing?
It's basically it's not as big or anything like that, but they still run with the whole preach the James 315, even though I don't think he plays anymore.
No.
Does anybody remember like Privateer Alliance and when like the whole mass war decking thing like first started? That was pretty long ago, but that didn't used to be a thing. And then sometime in like probably the late 2000s, I don't remember, a group called Privateer Alliance came together and became that, and then it died, and then every couple of years a new thing would come along and be that. But they like showed how broken it was, and like CCP changed gameplay a couple times, like trying to mitigate how many like wars you could have at any given time and make it more costly.
Mr. Unlucky, I thought you were going to bed.
Yeah, what are
Post
you
some
doing
links
back
and
posting? He like woke up. He's like, did I post the kill board? He's like got the what's the brain meme? It's like he's like, all right, I'm ready to go to sleep. Did you post the kill board? Like the eyes open. I was like, fuck. Double quarter pound. No, LB, it's a Royale with cheese, dude.
No, that's what they call it in Europe.
Yeah.
Because the metric system.
Don't you guys use metric?
We're close enough to you guys that we understand what a quarter pounder is.
Okay.
We also understand that
How
a
many
third
grounds?
pound is bigger than a quarter pound. So if you make a third pound burger, I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's a Whopper.
Right, but
Whopper.
apparently-
But Americans
apparently
fucking
won't.
won't.
Whoppers
Fucking
use
idiots.
3rd pound patties. Well, they're
Yep.
third pound when they're frozen. You cook them and they're like 1/8 of a pound.
Well, LB, while I love my country and some of my countrymen, we're not all the brightest bunch.
Yeah, I like
What can you do?
it's one of those things. It's like metric makes the most sense, but when you grow up your whole life learning imperial, it's hard to. I've done my best to like. I can generally do conversions, but I still have to like. I kind of have to think of it in imperial and then convert it and be like, okay, it's that's this.
I'm not bad with like physical measurements of like length, but when it comes to like Celsius and Fahrenheit, I that one hurts. I have to like actually usually check that one.
I am decent
like if it's
at
close, if it's around freezing either way, like okay, I like in that neighborhood.
0 and 32. I get that,
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, I know some breakpoints, which does really help, but also I know the conversion. So it's 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit per degree Celsius. But then you also have to account for the 32. So if you're converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius, you have to minus 32 and then divide by 1.8. And if you're doing it the other way, you times it by 1.8 and then plus 32.
What a stupid way.
Yeah. That's the way you convert it. But also the easier way for me is like, I know that each degree of Celsius is almost 2 Fahrenheit, not quite, but almost. But also it's like 0 is 32 freezing, 100 is 212, which is boiling. But then also room temperature, which is a very nice one that it, when you're thinking about temperature outside. So 71 degrees Fahrenheit is, or I think it's like 70 to 72 is 21 degrees Celsius. So that's like room temperature. And so that's a nice one. So if you're like, oh, it's like 15 degrees out, you're like, okay, well, that's colder than room temperature by about 10 to 15 degrees. So it's like, that's probably somewhere around like mid 50s to low 60s. So that kind of helps to like do like a quick in your head rough estimate type of stuff like that. Kelvin, yeah, Kelvin's an interesting one.
Are we able to blame Britain for like losing the Revolutionary War for why this system even exists?
I
Like,
think
if
we
they
can
would've just
blame
kept
Britain
their
for
shit
whatever we
together,
want.
No.
then
So the rest of the world, when they switch to it, basically the U.S. just doesn't want to, and it's the main reason is public opinion.
Yeah, the really hard thing with Fahrenheit and Celsius though is when you start getting into freezing temperatures, but not quite negative Fahrenheit temperatures yet. So that's when it's because everyone's like got this mental thing like, oh well, Celsius is a lower number than Fahrenheit because Fahrenheit there's more Fahrenheits per Celsius. But when you're looking at like 10 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 22 below freezing. But 10 degrees Fahrenheit's gonna be like negative 12 Celsius, and so now all of a sudden the Celsius seems lower, which in people's minds like, wait, but that's when it starts getting backwards. But at negative 40 degrees is where they meet up. Negative 40 Fahrenheit is negative 40 Celsius. That's where the two systems meet. But
And
So both nations
remember
can
the
agree that cold as fuck is cold as fuck.
yeah, cold as fuck is cold as fuck.
I remember I remember when I first learned that little factoid too. It was when I was living in La Crosse, Wisconsin. That would have been the winter of like 2013, and it got fucking bone chilling cold. And I remember with wind chill, it hit like true temp was like minus 25 Fahrenheit. Wind chill brought it to minus 40, and I remember the news being like, yeah, and it's the same in Celsius. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fucking melt my face cold.
Yeah, Adam, yeah, like I mean, well, the American system we kind of use our own thing too. I mean, like, yeah, there's like feet and yards and Fahrenheit and stuff, but then you also got the how many bald eagles over horse hooves do you have, and shit like that. So yeah, no, the it's funny because like in the chemistry classes and science class, like you learn some things like Fahrenheit or inches and centimeters. It's so, and it's funny because a lot of the things like you get these rough estimates, but like then there's some that are like super exact. Like 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters exactly. Like 2.54 is 0 to infinity centimeters. It's not a rough one. So, but I find myself like if I want to exact because like roughly like kilometers to miles, like it's roughly 1.6 kilometers per mile, give or take, but it's not exact. So you can do that to a rough estimate. If you're going with long distances, the discrepancy can get bigger. So a lot of times if I want to know how many kilometers are in this many miles. Like, oh, like 1,300 miles. Well, it's like all like 1,300 miles times 5,280. That's how many feet it is, and then times 12. That's how many inches it is. Divided by, or no, times 2.54. That's how many centimeters it is, and then divide by 100 or 100,000, and that's how many kilometers it's like. But then now you're doing a whole bunch of shit on the calculator.
So that
to get
was
there.
the liters and gallons conversion is one that I did when we were
liters
in
and gallons.
Iceland. Well, so
It's
I
about
remember though
3 3/4 liters per gallon, roughly, or is it a little over? I can't. It's either just under or just over 4.
3.8.
3.8
3.8 liters per
3.8.
gallon.
Yeah.
I remember because the first gas station I saw when we were in Iceland for FanFest coming into Reykjavik on the bus, I saw the gas price and I'm like, oh, that looks like a nice gas price. Then I'm like, wait, that's in liters. Did the conversion? Went, that's not a good gas price.
Yeah, that's like what was it back when, not this recent one, but like it was like 10 years ago when the gas spiked a bunch. Remember Giles, LB?
That experience, and then talking to some of the Europeans.
British guy? PNG?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Giles, he was talking about like, oh, like petrol, they call it petrol over there.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, petrol over here. He was like talking about, it's like $2 a liter. I was like, I started thinking about it, I was like,
well, yeah,
I would never drive. It's like, that's like
that's $8 a gallon.
I was like, that's like $8 or $9 a gallon. That's like $8 a gallon. Holy fuck! Why do you like don't drive ever?
Thanks, Biden.
That's one of the. That's one of the things actually that the trip over there and like talking to more people from other countries like really made me appreciate was that no, actually we have some cheap ass fucking gas in the US, just like historically we do compared to a lot of the world.
Yeah. And then it's still super high.
But yeah, why gas is so expensive?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Like I remember, I think it was Redline. He was like, gas has gotten so expensive. It was like last year. He's like, gas is so expensive. It's like $3.60 a gallon. I'm like, yo, I would love to see $3.60.
I filled up
when we go over to Washington. It's like, fuck, dude. Like there was a time where it was like $5.15 a gallon. I was like, dude.
I just filled up 2 days ago at Costco for $2.69 a gallon.
Oh, that's cheap. Like out here, it's like Idaho is a little cheaper than Washington because Washington has a higher gas tax, but Idaho, it's like it's been kind of going back and forth. Like it's around like $3.60 to $3.80 a gallon. Washington is usually about $4.20 to $4.60 a gallon right now. It's high.
I think like the normal gas stations here are right around like $2.75 to $2.80 right now, but Costco is.
Fuck, I'd love gas that cheap. That's like
After,
going back. That's going back in the day.
After conversion rate here, it's $3.90 a gallon. US.
That's not great.
Yeah, that's about what that's. I mean, average, because I mean, for work we're in Idaho and Washington all the time, so that's probably about average what I'm paying.
The worst
But
of
see,
the
Canada
gas
is
price
oil
spikes.
rich, so you shouldn't have those high prices.
We don't have any refineries though.
They
should us first.
Would've been nice.
There's a whole hubbub actually where there's a bit of a lawsuit going on between your nation and my state actually.
Would have been nice if they finished that pipeline all the way down to the Gulf.
So
right?
That'd have been real nice.
There's an old ass pipeline that Canada, a Canadian company, runs underneath the Straits of Mackinac, which is where the upper and lower peninsula of Michigan is separated by the body of water that connects Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. And they've had issues where there's been anchor strikes on that line. So there's been a lot of concern that's, because it's an old line too, that something bad could happen and then all of that oil would spill out. And Michigan is like, well, literally all you're doing is shipping it through us because it's Canadian oil that literally travels through Michigan and then goes over to southern Ontario for to be like, processed and whatnot.
Oh, you gotta tariff them. You gotta have like Coast Guard tariff it.
But basically, Michigan is trying to shut it down.
Great Lakes.
They're trying to shut it down, and so.
Wait, is there Coast Guard on the Great Lakes? I know they're big enough. Yes. They could probably. Okay, I was like, they could probably have actually Coast Guard. I was like, at first I was saying that, but like, you know what? They actually probably do.
They're one of the towns actually along the lake shore, right by me, has Coast Guard Fest, every summer for a whole week, and it's actually a lot of fun. The Canadian Coast Guard and the U.S. Coast Guard always send a vessel down, and you can actually get to like go on board them and tour them, and then there's all sorts of events going on. It's basically like a whole festival for a week. It's a lot of fun.
I always thought like maybe not with the exception of a couple other states. Like I always thought Michigan, like how Michigan is laid out, is one of the weirdest states because Upper Michigan, it makes no sense that that's not just part of Wisconsin. Like why is that Michigan? Like,
so there's a true story behind
also that
is
strip with
super
Oklahoma.
cool.
Like what the fuck is going on there?
So
Yeah, states are weird.
have you ever heard of the Toledo War?
No, I may have heard it in passing, but I can't recollect anything
So
about it.
Ohio became a state while Michigan was a territory. And at the time, you had the Michigan Territory, which was what is today the Lower Peninsula. And then there was the separate Wisconsin Territory, which was Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and the current Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Well, the Michigan wanted a little narrow strip along what is the border with Ohio today that included Toledo because it included a river access onto Lake Erie. Ohio said, "Fuck you, that's ours. We already planned our border," and this whole like disagreement on where the border actually was delayed Michigan coming into the country as a state, and there was actually like some border skirmishes. Like no one died, no one, but there was like injuries. And the way they ended up settling the dispute was they went, okay, well, how about this, Michigan? We draw the border where Ohio says, and you guys get this thing called the Upper Peninsula. Michigan took the deal, but they weren't super happy about it. But then 5 years later, they found one of the largest deposits of copper on the planet up there.
Oh.
And then they went, just
That's cool.
kidding, we like this.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because a lot of people they look at Idaho and they're like they see like the weird like it gets skinnier and skinnier. You get this little thing. It's like why make a state like that? Well, I mean, if you look at the border, the reason why it goes like there's a mountain range there, but
yeah.
So Idaho and Montana used to all be the Idaho Territory back in the day. So there was no Montana didn't exist back then. It was all Idaho Territory before there was a state, and it was a bunch of mining and stuff out there. There's like a lot of silver. There's a bit of copper and there's some gold mines, but there's a lot of silver mines in Idaho and stuff like that. But eventually, and like the gold rush came out there, and there's a bunch of people doing stuff, but it just kind of became a big, massive hassle to, because like it's almost like the area that is now Montana and the area that is now Idaho, that big mountain range. I think it's in the north is the Bitterroot Mountains. I don't know if down by like Salmon, Idaho, and like the bottom part, I don't know if that's still the Bitterroots, but that mountain range made it super difficult to, back before we had, cars and planes and shit like that. It just made it really difficult to like connect the areas of the territory as far as regulations and just management. And so that's why they eventually split it up along that mountain range. And then one became Montana and the other stayed Idaho.
There is a fun TV show that you can find like a lot of episodes on YouTube, but it's literally called How the States Got Their Shapes.
I've seen some episodes of that. I think that's actually where I learned that part of the Idaho and Montana thing.
If you're into this, like, these random like cool facts, like just about the country and geography, it's a fun thing to check out. Oversimplified also did a video on the Toledo War, which is where I learned about that. And there's some fun stuff about it that I did leave out just to not take forever talking about it.
Yeah, I think that I think they talk about the Oklahoma thing too, or I've heard of the Oklahoma. It was basically it wasn't the Mason-Dixon line, but it was some kind of thing about like one of the lateral. Is it longitude? Longitude is the east-west ones, right?
Lateral or east-west, or latitudes or
latitude.
Longe is the long.
Latitudes or east-west.
Longitude is the northwest ones?
Yes.
Okay, so
north south.
Okay. Well, I mean like north and south. I mean like
Trade's got a zigzagging now.
I mean the ones that run east and west, not the ones that are like. Hold on.
The latitude is like the rungs of a ladder. Is how you can remember latitude.
Oh, that's a good one.
And the way that I always remember is the longitude is the long from north to south.
Even though we're on a sphere, which is theoretical. includes.
Because of the shape of the Earth, though, that is actually it is longer.
Okay, yeah. Longitude is north-south. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
we're
okay.
we're a stretched oval egg, basically.
giggity.
Yeah, slightly, not a whole lot, but slightly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough. Anyway, I guess.
We bulge at the equator.
Thick. We're a thick planet.
We got nothing on Jupiter though.
But yeah, the it was something. So it was something to do with like the latitude line to where Texas couldn't go above a certain latitude, and so the
it
top
may
of
have-
Texas. That's why that
They
little
held us back.
stick.
I'm pretty sure that
stick
was the
became
Mason.
part of Oklahoma or something.
I think that is what was called the Mason-Dixon line, and it had. to
Oh,
do
so it
with
is Mason.
slavery.
Yeah. The Mason Dixon line was the above this no slavery, below it yes slavery, but kinda. I didn't know. Okay, so I know the Mason Dixon line.
Slavery, get your slavery.
I wasn't
yeah.
sure that that's what the line was for the Texas
I'm
Oklahoma
going
thing or
and
not, but-
verifying this right now.
Yeah, I'm curious because I thought it was not because of the Mason Dixon. I thought
No,
it was some
actually,
other
it's
thing.
not. It has to do with something else. So let's
Yeah,
clear
I think it
that
was
up.
like some kind of state mandate or something where the state couldn't go above a certain latitude, and therefore Oklahoma was like yoink, and they took that little. And it's funny if you look at a topographical vertical representation of Oklahoma, that little tiny neck thing, the peninsula sticking out, like that starts becoming like more mountainous. And so if you look at Oklahoma, like on a thing, it's like Oklahoma is like super flat on the big part, and then you have this little like tiny neck part that goes, woo, it just like goes up like a parabola graph. It's kind of funny.
So here you go.
Even makes that sound.
I'm gonna spit some facts. After the Mexican-American War, Texas laid claim to all of the land ceded by its southern neighbor, including areas that now make up parts of New Mexico, Colorado, and even Wyoming. In 1850, the U.S. Congress negotiated a compromise between Texas and residents of the other emerging western territories, giving shape to the trademark panhandle and establishing the Red River as the state's primary northern boundary.
The Red River rivalry is
The Triple
Oklahoma
R?
State and Texas Tech or something like that. I don't know.
Which that
Texas
would make
Tech.
sense.
Psh.
Probably like just cities opposing sides of that river.
Something like that.
Isn't everyone in Texas Longhorn fans anyway?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Bunch of A&M people too.
Oh yeah, A&M.
And then you got Texas Tech, which.
What does A&M even stand for?
What's his name? Mahomes came from Texas Tech. A&M is agriculture and I don't remember. Texas A&M University, agriculture and mechanics maybe.
Molding.
Engineering school. Something like that.
Agriculture and mopping.
There you go. That's what they specialize in.
Yeah. Get your PhD in janitorial services.
Serve high quality H2O.
Yeah. Yeah. So the proud student Sir Mops a lot wrote his thesis on mold removal. I'm joking. Hey, nothing wrong with janitorial work.
There's that one guy who put all his kids through like one of the Ivy League schools by being a janitor.
Oh yeah. Hey, janitors can actually make some money.
Got some sort of like leg up like that, you know. Well, no, it was just like by being an employee of the university, his kids got like advantages to go into the university or something like that.
I mean, cleaning stuff up. I'm like, that's half of my job is just cleaning shit up. Like, I work on the water cooler. Like, yeah, I change filters. I have to fix stuff when they break, but half the time it's like, if you get there, it's like, hey, everything's working perfectly fine. So I didn't do any, you know, if it's like, if the machine's working, I don't have to do anything to it, but, you know, clean it up while I'm here. So like half the time I'm just cleaning machines, but making like $29 an hour doing that. So
Yeah,
hey,
it's honest work. Where do we go from here?
That's a good question. We have a minute
Anywhere we
left in the
want
show.
to. Did we want to play a game tonight? Or do we want to save games for maybe Sunday?
I'm down to play games on Sunday, and we're gonna have a bit of a stream because, oh yeah, so Sunday, so people, we're gonna have a New Year's Eve stream, slash into New Year's, Sunday evening if people want to come and hang out and watch. So I figure, do we want to? I just figure we start it like an hour before East Coast New Year's, so 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, and then we run through Pacific New Year's, so that'd be like a 4-hour stream.
I could drink for 4 hours.
And then we call it good from there. I don't want to go. We don't have to do Alaska and Hawaii and Midway and shit this year.
Guam? We're leaving Guam out this year.
So funny, Guam is actually on the other side of the international date line. So all the times we've been celebrating Guam, we've been celebrating January 2nd for them.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah, because like they celebrate New Year's, like about 15 hours, 20 hours before we do. So
I have a 7:25 a.m. flight on the 1st to Florida.
oof,
So,
we could just be drunk on the plane.
Well,
Oh, you have to drive
I'm
to the
driving
airport, though.
myself to the airport.
Oh yeah,
No.
there's that.
So
Uber
I'm
for $100,000.
I can get on. Well, I wasn't gonna drink anyway, but just get high as fuck.
Okay, yeah, that works.
But I'm good to start even an hour earlier if people wanted to. I basically plan on getting off shortly after midnight Eastern though, just so that I'm not like dead.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, because I didn't want to have it be like, people drinking for like 6 hours, because eventually it just gets to the point where it's like everyone's like, "Ugh, time to leave," and I'm like, it's not New Year's for me because I'm like the last, I'm on the West Coast, so it's like everyone's like wanting to leave and go to bed. I'm like, it's still 2023 for me, so that's what I say. Like, I think if we start an hour before East Coast New Year, it's a 4-hour stream. We hit all the U.S. time zones. Isn't like Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island, isn't that like an hour ahead of East Coast?
Yes.
Don't they have like their own time zone?
Or at least Newfoundland does.
Newfoundland is a
I can't remember
half
what
hour.
Vermont is.
It's wait, they do half-hour time zones there?
Interesting.
Yep.
Man, that's weird. Bunch of weirdos
They're
over there.
strange.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
We don't. It's okay.
Well, we don't know anyone from there, so we're gonna omit the farthest eastern reaches of weird Canada.
I think LB maybe can concur with this, but I know a couple Newfies, and I can confirm that they're not people.
Wait, is it okay to call it? It's okay to call them
something.
Newfies?
There's
Yes,
something.
Newfies is acceptable.
Okay. I was like, damn.
They accept that.
Isn't Prince Edward Island further east than Newfoundland though?
No.
Or is it like southeast? Is it like
Newfoundland
south?
is like east and north.
Like,
right?
Yeah.
It's weird because I'm super familiar with like all the provinces of Canada until you start getting over to like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and is it New Brunswick? Yeah.
Mhm.
Is
Yep,
that the only
yep.
four? Like, at least I know the names. I thought there was like some other one, something Labrador. Isn't there like a?
Newfoundland and Labrador is the same place.
Oh, but they call it the same. Okay.
Same province.
So do they call it
So, like,
Newfoundland and Labrador? Or is it? Is just,
Newfoundland is the island portion, and then Labrador is the part that's attached to them.
I thought Nova Scotia was the island.
No, Nova Scotia is
No.
all.
Like I know the names, but my knowledge of the geography over there is really bad.
I
all right.
was also in the same boat until before the trip to Iceland, and then I looked over the maps of like the areas we'd probably be flying over because I wanted to know.
I just remember like my first time finding out that none of it became its own thing. I think it was like several years after it did because I was like, oh, Northwest Territories, and I just went and looked at a map. I'm like, wait,
So I don't know if you.
what the
saw
hell's
this-
going on here? It's like I look over at my Risk map. I'm like, like, look over because it's like Northwest Territories is like the old Northwest Territories, which is all the way across, and then you look at the thing. It's like, wait, they cut it in half. What is Nunavut? It's like it's none of it. I'm like, they just pronounce it none of it. Okay, it's not a lot of population up there. It's
Uh-oh.
I think like the biggest city in none of it is like 1,500 people.
Yeah,
And
oh,
that one's got all of it, right?
And I feel like that is probably like a quarter of the population of the. It's not, but
Did you guys? See
it's
the
a bunch of
story?
small like little villages and stuff. It's a. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There was a plane. I forget exactly what issue they ran into, but this was like a week or two ago. A flight from Europe back into North America that had to land at a small, remote, like northern Canadian. I think actually a military base, not even like a town.
Hmm.
And then like 300 people had to get off the plane and then spend the night there.
Oh man, I can't imagine there's that many
Must not be
airfields
caught.
out there. I mean, was it like a large plane?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's probably whatever the capital of Nunavut is, or Northwest Territories, because
That's what
I don't
it
think
was.
anywhere else has a plane that could land. Like all the other airfields up there are probably such a small area. It's like Cessna planes only. So if you have like a
Sorry, where did it
passenger-
land?
Here, let me pull it up.
I was like, if you're landing a 737,
Oh,
it's either got. I swear, it's
Alright.
got to either be Yellowknife or
I'll read-
which is in Yukon, and
I'll
then
read it. I'm
okay.
gonna read a part to it, and there's also a link in. Well, that link broke. Maybe it's
Is it
worth
Yellowknife
having.
or Crazy Horse?
Passengers aboard a flight from Amsterdam to Detroit spent the night in a military barracks in eastern Canada after the plane was forced to land because of a mechanical failure. The Delta Airlines crew diverted the flight on Sunday to Newfoundland and Labrador.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Newfoundland. Okay, that's
So,
that's more populated though.
Fucking Goose Bay, probably.
Yep, they were sent to Goose Bay. They had to
Yeah.
overnight there.
Yeah, and also I think military base is going to have something that can land like fighter jets and C-130s or whatever.
So that's also Goose Bay, Newfoundland, or Labrador. When 9/11 happened and all those planes got diverted, a bunch of them ended up landing in Goose Bay. And the facilities that are there are not adequate to house like 24 commercial airliners just landing there all of a sudden. So what ended up happening is the locals would end up like housing
Taking on
these
borders.
people. Yeah, taking on borders and like feeding them and like sharing booze with them and stuff, and just like really really wholesome people there, like taking care of people and stuff. And to this day, like those people are still in touch with the people that they housed during 9/11. Yeah, it's pretty. I think there's a play about it called "Come From Away,"
Really?
Come-
which is a Newfoundland saying. Like if you're not from Newfoundland, then you come from away.
Come
'Cause
from
everywhere
away.
else, it's not Newfoundland
Come
is
from
away.
away. Come from away with me. Sorry,
It might be one of the songs.
So hold on. So yeah, like I'm familiar with Quebec and all these I know. All these I know.
So, yeah, where is Goose Bay on this? I'm curious.
All these I know very well. It's just fuck. So basically, the Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick. Like this is where I thought Newfoundland was, and I thought Nova Scotia was like up here and stuff. I don't even remember St. Pierre and Miquelon being in existence at all. I'm
One of
so
my-
bad at North American geography. Holy shit!
One of my
I live here.
favorite. So Drayden, one of my favorite.
This I didn't. I would have thought that was
yeah.
just Quebec. Sorry, go ahead.
So you can, if you go over to like, it's kind of in the just off center, upper left of your where you're focused on right now, but that like perfect circle of water.
Oh, Hudson Bay.
No, not that. It's a lot smaller. It's a geographic feature in Quebec. Zoom in a little bit more.
Oh, you mean
You
this?
see-
Okay, yeah.
René
No.
Levasseur
Yeah.
Island.
Yes, there you go.
Louis
One-
Babet Ecological Reserve. Babel?
We think that is one of the oldest and largest impact craters.
That's
Oh.
interesting.
I mean, yeah, I can see it. And the thing is, like, when craters happen, like, you have the impact and it blasts out the sides, but then you have, like, the rupture. So a lot of craters have that kind of, like, mountainous thing coming back up in the middle. So that could be why there's land here and why the center is so mountainous. I could see that. I could see that as a thing. Sure.
The theory is that it was from the late Triassic, about 214 million years
Gagnon.
ago,
Sorry.
and would have been about 5 kilometers in diameter.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, because that's it hitting land. So you have the was it by the Yucatan?
Yeah,
down.
and that's a deeply eroded impact crater at this point because it's hundreds of millions of years old.
Where,
The only reason it's still there is because the North American craton, that like the geologic core that North America like is formed around, is mostly like made up of the Canadian Shield, and it is some of the oldest surface rocks on the planet.
yeah, where the fuck isn't Chicxulub is
Right.
somewhere.
Yep. You're right.
It's
You're
like right up.
basically you were just there. You
Yeah,
were
it's like right
you
here,
were right
right?
on that. No. Yep. Right up there.
Yeah, so there's a little bit
Sorry,
of a
there's a
delay.
delay.
So, yeah, I was saying like Chicxulub. Although when you look at Google Maps' satellite imagery of like, you would think there would be more of a visible crater here, but I know that Chicxulub is right off the thing here. It's not as visible with the land map because you still have the continental shelf stuff going on. You don't really see like the crater, but
It's the subsurface imaging is really where they've been able to like map out that crater. And, like, the
yeah.
arc of it
So
on
the
land.
satellites probably aren't as good at it, but
No.
But yeah, so I could totally see. That's cool. Yeah, I could. I never would have thought that, but yeah, now that you mention it, I could totally see this being a crater because, like you said, yeah, you have the outside ring, but then you have the center that pushes back up, so that's why you have all these mountains in the middle. I would absolutely believe that's a crater.
But now
Yeah,
it's used as a reservoir, and there's like some giant hydroelectric project going on there.
What's this? This is a big ass lake. I sometimes I just love getting on Google Maps and just fucking looking around at shit. Lake Nipigon. That's a big lake. That is a huge ass lake with a lot of fucking islands in it. Some big islands too. Have you been here, LB?
Where is it?
Lake Nipigon.
Let me Google it.
It's right in Ontario.
It's a feeder lake, actually.
It's the biggest lake in Ontario aside from the Great Lakes.
It's a feeder lake to Lake Superior, so it's part of the Great Lakes system technically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's huge.
Nipigon
is how you spell
Nope.
Nipigon.
I've driven through the town of Nipigon, but I have not been to the lake Nipigon.
Oh, that's a big ass lake. That's like what? It's about 25 miles across width and probably 30 miles to 35 miles tall. But there's tons of islands all over in it. So, and some of the islands are big, like, you know, several miles across. Wilson Island is big.
Yep.
And there's lakes inside the lake. Holy shit! Is that Filth? Is that Frith Lake? I thought I was like, is that Filth Lake?
No. So if I remember right,
Frith Lake.
If
That's a lake inside a lake.
Right,
Damn.
There's something actually more special. I believe on Lake Nipigon is a place where you've got a lake, or you've got an island on a lake that is on an island on a lake. Like I think there's one that's basically like 3 deep.
It's Lakeception.
Yeah. Val. So I heard. Well, Skyhawk has probably been watching it way more than I have, but I did see a thing where the volcano in Iceland did erupt, and they're glad that they evacuated people. But it has mostly subsided now, right? Because obviously.
So what you had happened was, first you had land rise. You had the magma chamber filling up. Okay, the magma chamber had a certain amount of pressure back on November 10th. And you saw the ground come back down, and that was when there was the long formation of the magma dike, and you had the earthquakes and like the initial evacuation of Grindavik and like the cracks forming. And then activity was just earthquakes for a while, and then it died down, and then we had the eruption after, and that whole time that magma chamber was refilling. Well, we had a little bit of surface subduction again after the eruption, but not as much actually after the event on November 10th. And now we're still seeing magma flow going into that magma chamber. So the pressure is rising again. So there's a good chance that we're going to see another eruption. But the thing that's pretty much a certainty is this is just going to be an ongoing eruption series. There was eruptions in 2021, 2022, and then back in July of this year before this biggest eruption happened. And the geologists are thinking that there's going to be continuing eruptions going on for the next couple hundred years.
So so is the town just toast then?
So the people have been allowed back into the town. So, and this actually apparently started turning into a big thing in Iceland, like going all the way to like court cases going to the Icelandic Supreme Court. And essentially, what ended up coming down was that the government can't keep people out of their homes that they own.
Ah.
And that, like, if people are essentially they said that if people are like warned and like they're told like, hey, there could be a big eruption and you could like die and you could have like 20 minutes warning. Well, as long as the people know that and they choose to be there, they can be there. You can't block them.
Yeah. Quick question for LB. So my whole life I thought Ottawa was in Quebec, but on this map it looks like it's in Ontario.
It is. It's in Ontario.
Okay, I was like, it's on the wrong side of the river.
It's
Well,
on the
not
right side
wrong
of the river.
Well, not the wrong. I'm just saying it's on the other side of the river from Quebec.
Yeah.
So are these other areas? Is this not part of Quebec? Are these other towns, or is it like a part of Quebec that's in, or
If
a
it's
part
on
of,
the
a part of Ottawa that's in Quebec?
If it's on the eastern side of
The Ottawa River.
the Ottawa River, it's in Quebec. If it's on the western side of the Ottawa River, it's in Ontario. Excuse me.
But that's opposite. Well, the river's
Well,
runs east and
right
west.
there you're seeing a weird bend. The river generally runs
East
north,
west, so it'd be the north
west.
and south.
Wow.
Because it's this way. It runs this way.
Hold on.
You're being literal, and I think they just generalize it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying
It
like
runs
on
from
the south
it runs
side of the river.
northwest to southeast. It runs northwest to southeast. So if you're on the northeast side of the river, that's Quebec. If you're on the southwest side of the river, you're on Ontario.
Okay, which is weird because in this specific spot where Ottawa is, it would be like
You're actually northwest of
and
of
southeast.
Ottawa.
Yeah, so I would just say like on the north side of the river, it's Quebec. On the south side of the river, it's Ottawa or
Sure.
Ontario. Okay, so this is all Ottawa. So the stuff that's on the north side of the river, that's not Ottawa then?
That's Gatineau, Quebec.
Gatineau?
Yep.
I see Lac de Fils.
Yep.
Casino du Lac Lémy. This is a bunch of French
Oh,
stuff.
that's
What's
a
going on?
fun place to go. It's fucking Quebec, man.
Yeah, I know.
En français.
Have you been to this casino?
Yep, I have.
Oh.
I didn't do any gambling there, but I did go there for an event. Yeah.
Did you go to the Centre de Dépistage?
Maybe.
COVID-19 CDD. ...
Nope.
Get to know Garris. I love Google Maps. I love looking at this shit. There's a Hilton over here. There's a Hilton Lac Lémy.
Yeah, that's where I stayed.
Oh, this one. Was this?
I stayed in that hotel. Yeah.
This was during your like ceremony thing with where you got all super fancy dressed in your dress uniform.
Yeah, I went to the Army Ball there in 2010.
Yeah. Oh, that was before I met you then, because I didn't even. Yeah. Well, but what
Maybe.
was the more recent one where like you posted the picture like you and your wife were like super all formal, like sharp as fuck dressed. That was like a year or two. That was like this year, maybe last year.
No, we haven't been to a thing in a while.
You went to a thing recently where you it was like a thing with the army, like you were all formally dressed and like went to some kind of show thing.
Oh, I might have gone to a mess. I went to a mess dinner a couple weeks ago.
No, you were dressed in like your best fatigues, like the biggest, best, and finest.
Was it red or was it green?
I was thinking like navy blue, but it's like you were like formally like you go into like an actual like ceremony, like all your medals were on and like.
I don't know.
Like
You gotta show me a
you
picture.
had like the white gloves and everything, like the fucking
Whoa,
everything.
white gloves.
Or
that's too much.
That's Marines, right?
Well, we wear white gloves for parades, but like,
yeah, there's like a
I haven't
parade.
been on
Oh, I don't know. It was something within the last few years. Like it was. I
I do a lot of things.
No, it was a fancy army thing. I don't know, but you both look sharp as fuck. Well, so let's yeah. So this threw me off. I did not. So Newfoundland and Labrador. Okay, so this is Labrador then, right? This is Labrador. No, this is Newfoundland. So what the fuck?
Where? That's Newfoundland. That island is Newfoundland, and then up above.
This is
like,
Labrador.
on the mainland is Labrador.
What the fuck? I thought it was vice versa. Also, I would have.
But they're a province together called Newfoundland and Labrador.
Blew my fucking mind. I thought
And there's a half-hour time zone for that province.
that's weird.
Yes.
None of it. Yeah, see all this, well, this all used to be just Northwest Territories. When did they make none of it? That was like
It used to be pine trees as far as the eye could see.
when did none of it become a thing? Was that like early 2000s?
Yeah,
Or-
something like that, yeah.
Or yeah, it was so does none of it get all this stuff, or is this like
Yep.
all that's
Yep.
none of it? Oh, there's a
Pretty
there's
sure,
a line
yeah.
here. There's a line here. So this little right here, this is Northwest
Yep.
Territories, but then this is okay. I don't think people on the stream can see my mouse, so this isn't. Oh, I know how to fix that. Capture cursor. You can see it now. Yeah, so there's a line here. This is Northwest Territories. This is none of it. So is Greenland just here? It splits here? Who owns...
Yeah, Greenland's that big white thing.
Yeah, well, I know Greenland. Who gets this island?
Greenland?
Who's
I
gonna
don't know.
You guys gonna fight over this
You gotta
one?
find that one where the Dutch and us keep fucking.
Hans. Oh, it's Hans Island. This island shot
Is
first.
that the one?
They finally made an agreement over
This
it,
island
didn't they?
shot first.
Maybe.
Look, no, there's actually a line. It's half and half. You guys have half this island.
Yeah.
This little like
That-
1,000-foot across island. You guys have half of it. It's a half Canada. And half
So until recently, there used to be fucking a dispute over that island, and what would happen was we would send a patrol, like a sovereignty patrol, up there, and we would put our flag up, and then we would leave a bottle of whiskey for the Danish patrol. The Danish patrol would come, they would take our flag down, they'd put their flag up, and they would leave a bottle of schnapps, and we would go back and forth like that.
that's cool.
As each patrol went to the island, yeah.
Oh, hi, Mrs. LB. Oh,
Which
yeah.
is-
I was there talking about. I'll have to find the picture. I'll have to like repost it somewhere in Discord and be like, yeah, this one is what I'm talking about. But
I love shit like that too, where it's like there's an actual border dispute between two countries, but they're also, like
I don't think it's a border
there's
dispute.
allies. Well, it's a border dispute technically, but like also they're NATO allies. So like, what they gonna actually do?
Well, I mean, like, so
Well,
I
yeah,
know-
like, are we gonna go to war over 1,000 foot rock in that's just got
Exactly.
seals on it,
yeah.
seals and bird shit, and like, who gives a shit?
Well, that's your bird shit though.
I guess, yeah.
I mean,
half
well,
of it is.
What about are these
have you
islands half
heard-
and half? This is
have-
all Greenland, probably.
Have you
This is
guys
all
heard
Greenland.
about the pig wars?
I just don't understand. Like, why would you even split
No.
this up? You would think like no one cares about Hans Island, so why does Canada or Greenland care who's whose? Why would you
So-
even split this in half?
In reality, there's mineral rights and like rights to the shit that's underneath that island, right? So,
There's nothing
let's
under this
say-
island. I guarantee it.
well,
Wait
let's
till
say
the
there's,
polar ice
let's say
caps
there's,
There's
right, let's say
granite-
there's
granite
oil.
and ice.
Let's say there's oil
It's
there, right?
underwater.
Oh,
And it's just off the island. Like, who owns that? Who owns that oil?
Both sides are reserving the right.
Great, and go. I'm curious how much it shows on that map. I was gonna say go over to by like New York City,
okay.
just
Hold on.
just offshore.
I gotta pee really bad. I'll be right back.
Oh.
I'll. You know what? We're gonna look at Hans Island some more. I'll be back here.
Yeah.
Just, you guys think about where this should be. I don't know.
Hans Island.
I did actually enjoy the views flying over Greenland coming back from Iceland.
Yeah.
It was the day that we flew back was just like perfect weather for it was clear, and I got a handful of pretty good pictures like right at the coastline where you could actually see the glacier like flowing down to the coast.
I've flown over that a few times in my life. It's always neat to look at it.
I mean, it's just what struck me is like it was cool and pretty when we were getting, like flying over the coast part because we flew over, of course, just the southern tip. But when we were over the interior, where you're looking out the window, like whenever I've shown people like photos, they're like, "Oh, it looks foggy." I'm like, "No, that's just snow blowing around. You're just looking at a giant ass sheet of ice that's like at least a kilometer thick, if not more."
Yeah.
Which is just like mind blowing to think about when that's all you can see out the window of a plane for however many hundreds of miles.
Mm-hmm. I am playing Eve Online at the same time as we're doing this.
So, question for you, LB. Why
Yep.
is the bay right off of Nova Scotia, like between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, why is it called the Bay of Fundy?
I don't know.
All right, back. Sorry. So New York, you said?
Yeah, go off the coast of New York, like where the continental shelf is. This is another like geographic feature that's kind of cool. So you see how there's like what looks like kind of a crack there, or like a canyon,
This
a
one?
pretty long one going for. There you go. Yep, that long one there. That is the Hudson Canyon. So back during the
Oh,
last.
so the Hudson River comes out right around here, right?
Yep, the Hudson River carved that, and it is one of the largest submarine
That's a
canyons
Raritan
in the
River.
world.
Where's the Hudson River? Is here? That's Arthur.
Flows into New York City. Yep, and then so.
Oh, here. Okay, yeah.
So,
Here's the Hudson.
yeah.
Okay.
So going back.
I mean, all of it, like this
to,
river and all these other rivers that come out, they all. Oh, yeah. You can see. Yeah, so it flows, and it's like an underwater river. It flows down.
So
here.
what you're seeing there is like, of course, the continental shelf under the ocean there, and it's a lot shallower, obviously.
Right.
During the last glacial maximum, ocean levels were hundreds of feet lower than what they are now, and that's basically when that canyon was carved.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing. So with we're at a glacial minimum, but a lot of people are like, oh, back in the ice age, we are still in an ice age.
Yes,
we are still in an ice age. Technically, we're just at a glacial minimum. So what people think of as the ice age, like 10, 20, 30,000 years ago, or 100,000 years ago, whatever, that was the last glacial maximum of the ice age. But this ice age we're in has been going on for like 3 million years. And we're and if you look, it's like you look at these dips, and it's like goes cold or goes warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, and then like we're at a dip now. Who knows? It's been dipping. We're dipped further down than it has been in a while, so this could be on the way out of the ice age, but probably not, or at least not fully. And we could go through another glacial maximum. So in the next now. Who knows? Because of that's when they're saying like climate change. So climate change, just because we're still in an ice age, you have climate change between glacial minimum and glacial maximum, which is like a significant change in average temperatures and ice and stuff, obviously. So with climate change, but then also because of the carbon emissions and CO2 and greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which are retaining heat more, which is a byproduct of industrialization of people, that could essentially almost potentially cause a end to the ice age officially, maybe that it wouldn't have on its own naturally necessarily, but so it's hard to say, but
we're fucking with the cycle is the TLDR.
We probably are, and that's the thing. So that's the thing is like you think everyone's like, oh, everything's warming up, it's getting hotter. But it's like we're still in an ice age. So if we get out of a technical ice age, it's gonna get even hotter. Like that's more gin than I needed. But like out of a full ice age, it's like there could potentially almost be no ice caps at all. Which people
it is interesting looking at maps of how the coastlines change as sea levels change, both directions too. Like thinking about the amount of additional land that was exposed during the last glacial maximum is pretty insane. Like you go back then, and what is nowadays a good chunk of the North Sea, that wasn't there. Instead, that was the land area called Doggerland.
And
the
over
United
here, like here,
and the British
here.
Isles, and the British Isles were actually still connected.
And
even
today it's only like 300 feet deep or so. It's not that deep.
And we've found prehistoric human or evidence.
Yeah, there's like towns buried under here that like from a long time ago, and that was like only a handful of thousands of years ago, right?
Yeah, like that was.
Like 4,000 or 5,000, maybe 10,000 years ago, I think. Dogger. I don't know exactly. I know it was between like
6,500 to 6,200 BCE.
Okay, yeah. So like 8,000, 8 or 9, yeah. Yeah, and it was so it connected kind of almost like I could be wrong on the spot, but I think it's around where like Amsterdam over to like England.
Well, so
This
so
area used to
further
be
than
a land mass.
think, it's actually zoom out from there a little bit,
Hmm.
and then it's actually from Denmark over.
Oh,
It was huge.
here,
It
yeah.
wasn't. Yeah, like
I
that.
remember
that
seeing a
whole
thing on
area.
it. It's been a while, but I remember seeing a thing on that, and it blew my mind. I was like, wait, what? Like I never would have guessed that this used to just be dry land. And
I mean, there's others, like that's not even the largest sunken landmass. Like the microcontinent Zealandia. What is today New Zealand is like, and like some islands basically in the Pacific are all that is exposed of it. But it's basically part of a tectonic plate that is like sinking and like submerging
Yeah.
overall. So like it's just gonna go away eventually.
yeah, it'll be that picture. That's the one I'm talking about.
That was Remembrance Day.
Remembrance Day. Yeah. Okay, that was this year. That was like several months ago.
It was 2 months ago.
2 months. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was Remembrance Day. I wasn't sure. Yeah, because you guys went to the hockey game where like it was Flames and Senators, and your wife is a Senators fan, and you're a Calgary Flames fan.
Yeah.
If you click on that link in Twitch chat, Drayden, that is the rough outline of what Doggerland like we think looked like back then.
Oh, I sorry, the cameras got fucked up for a second. Twitch chat.
And it also shows where we think rivers flowed. So like the Rhine and the Thames actually like had the same outlet basically.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But rising sea levels essentially like flooded that area, and then like once you get a connection flowing of water between just a small opening, it's just gonna erode the fuck out of it. Like there's actually a video on TikTok. I'm sure I could find a link to it.
Holocene.
Some guys that they on a sandbar down in Florida, they like thought they would be funny and dug like a small trench between like the ocean and then like the like the actual shoreline for the sandbar, and like
coastal or something.
Yeah, and it basically like as soon as the tide started flowing out, it just opened that fucker up.
Yeah. Okay. So the picture is basically showing like land masses here, connected like from like where the Thames comes out of London. It's connecting like roughly along here, and then all this is land. And then it kind of comes back in as a little inlet, and then back over land, and it's kind of along Denmark and all. Bigger. Yeah. There's also, if you look at Viking, so there's apparently there was like an island up here as well. It was an island that is just submerged now. It probably isn't that deep either, with probably a couple feet next to Shetland. So where's Shetland? Is that like the Orkney Islands? Oh, okay. So here's Shetland. So off the side of Shetland, there's like an island somewhere over here that is now submerged. That is probably not that deep, but it's probably deep enough that obviously water, but it's about half the size of this, so it's probably about this big, like somewhere in this area. Dude, it's like Lara Croft. Gotta go explore this shit. Except I'm not going to the ocean. You guys do it.
I have an answer to the Bay of Fundy question there, Skyhawk. Yeah, you were asking why the Bay of Fundy is called that?
Yeah.
It's thought that in the 16th century, when Portuguese explorers discovered it, they called it Rio Fundo, or Deep River. So it's
okay.
And yeah,
interesting.
I'd say Flames are my second favorite team too, probably. They're not my favorite.
So speaking
I know
of
maybe we're. Oh, sorry. One more. Go Sharks.
Hi,
Go Sharks, because Sharks are the best, even though they suck most of the time. Oh no, I take it back. Kraken. I'm a Kraken fan now because Seattle has a team. Kraken, then Sharks, then Flames. Sorry, Flames. Third place. Get in line.
We're used to it.
So that peninsula of Denmark called Jutland, I didn't know this till earlier this year, but technically the upper tip of it is an island and has been that way since 1825. There's a fjord that was originally only open to the ocean on the eastern side, but through erosion, it literally just cut its way across the rest of the landmass.
A fjord?
Fjord.
Fjord. Oh, here's Gotham City.
Ooh.
Well, Gothenburg, same thing. Man, I love maps. I love just cruising around on maps and looking at shit. Especially one of the things I love doing is like, so you know, in your Windows login, has like the random pictures that come up, and you can like on the top right corner, it'll tell you like where it is. You'd be like, I like it or I don't like it. If you're like, I don't like it, it won't show you that one again. But if you like it, it's gonna show. It also is going to take into account like, oh, you like this kind of image? Well, what are the tags in this image? Like forest, mountains, lakes, ocean, stuff like that. It's like, we'll show you more stuff like this. I think I've disliked enough deserts that it almost never shows me desert shit anymore. Some people will find they're like, oh, deserts are beautiful. I'm like, deserts are a bunch of boring ass sand with some scrub bushes if you're lucky. I'm not a fan of deserts.
I like the scenery out west, but it's, I think, mostly because it's so foreign to me from growing up in the Midwest.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, some deserts are okay. Like, I mean, I used to live in Arizona for only a couple years, but I've been out in the desert out there. There's an appeal to it in a way.
It's not a new thing to you.
Also, the things like the southwestern deserts and like some of the deserts in Mexico, like you get like the classical like saguaro cactus, which is like pretty unique. Like there's other deserts in the world that don't have that, and there's actually a shitload of cactus in Arizona. There's all kinds. There's some nasty, like the whatever jumping something cactus. That's some nasty shit. I can't remember what it's called. I when I was in like first grade, and I as a field trip, like I've always been on field trips where like you go out, you do something, you come back, right? When I went on a field trip in first grade, I lived in Tucson, Arizona. We went out into the desert to like some camp. It was like normally like just like a camp, you know, there's no Jason Voorhees, but you have like the camp with the counselors and stuff like that. It's out in the middle of the desert, and it was like a 3-day overnight field trip. I've never had that at a school where it's like, we're going to have a field trip and bring, you know, change of clothes and
molest them all.
Right? No, that didn't happen. At least not that I know of.
You weren't a pretty kid.
Yeah, right.
This is terrible.
But it's like, no, but like it was like these cabins out in the boys' cabins, the girls' cabins, then you have like the activity center, and then there are all these trails out in the desert. And it was kind of cool. Like, we're not looking for, it's funny. They had like, you know, like first grade kids, like, you know, kids are like, what, 7 years old, have them run around out in the desert. There's cactus everywhere, and having them in the middle of the night with like flashlights and blacklight glow sticks trying to find like bark scorpions, which are like one of the only scorpions in North America that are super venomous, and there's only been 2 deaths from bark scorpions since like the 60s, but they're the most dangerous scorpion, and we're all out there looking for them and trying to find them. And it's like, but yeah, there's this one jumping cactus. It's like something jumping cactus. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like just walking next to it can sometimes cause tremors in the ground, which then cause the thing. It's almost like porcupine quills, where like it'll shoot them off at you. It's not like it has sentience in a mind, but it's like it just causes like the vibrations can sometimes, if you get close, you don't even have to touch it. If you get close enough to it and if you step heavy enough, it can sometimes just go bow and just blast off, and just like all of a sudden spines like fly into you and like they stick and like sting you, and it's like, I've never been hit by that, but I was like, that's scary. The only cactus I've ever been into was a prickly pear. Those suck. I was out hunting. Well, my dad was out hunting for javelinas, which are like desert pig boar things. And we were out javelina hunting, and I was walking around. And somehow, I don't know, I was probably just too tall, even in my childhood, to see down at my feet. but I didn't see where I was going. I just like walked shin first into a prickly pear paddle, caught about 50 spines in my shin. Not
Oof.
50, probably like 20. Felt like 50. And I just like started screaming and crying, and my dad was like out there like, having to pull them all out. They have barbs, so it's like every time we pull one out, I'm like, ah. And he got done like 15, 20 minutes later. He's like, well, any javelinas in the within a 2-mile radius are gone now, so we should just go home. So it's like that was not a fun experience. It's like the scary is you're 6 years old, you just like walk and you're like all of a sudden you feel like sharp pain. You look down, there's like 15 to 20 needles sticking out of your shin. It's like that is very scary.
Yeah, that's unfun.
I thought it was going to be a rattlesnake.
I never actually saw a rattlesnake. I never even heard one. I've never seen a and we did find several scorpions. The scary thing is like one of the kids, I wasn't luckily not in my cabin, but one of the kids in one of the cabins woke up and there's a scorpion like on his sleeping bag when he woke up.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean he didn't sting him, but like the thing is like the cabins were not sealed. There was gaps under the doors like almost an inch tall, so it's like there was like no like ants, spiders, like every kind of creepy crawly bug you could think of, centipedes and shit. They'd get in there. Like I was not comfortable sleeping in those cabins, but I'm sure all kinds of stuff was crawling all over me in the middle of the night when I was sleeping. But
Right. I'm gonna hop off for the night, gents, but I will see you lovely people on Sunday.
hell yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm winding down as well.
yeah, we can just call it. Oh, sorry, what's up, man? All right, yeah, we can cash it in for the night and be back Sunday.
Hopefully talk to y'all soon.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you on Sunday evening if you want to do some New Year's shenanigans, and we might be doing a game night, so we might be playing some various games while we stream and stuff. So it's probably not going to be as much of an Eve stream. It's probably just going to be a general game stream. So
before we go, this one,
yeah,
not good.
sharp cheddar. Oh, sharp dessert.
Sharp dressed turkey.
Sharp cheddar. Yeah, I was like, I think a turkey beer.
It's
I don't know
it
about
was
that.
it was like a beer, but it had this savory spice that you would put in like a stuffing. Not their best work.
Yeah. I mean, any kind of like turkey flavored beer. I don't know if that doesn't sound good to me. But then you said the ham one was good though, right?
The ham one was all right. The pineapple clove one was pretty good.
Oh yeah, clove. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like that one with the cloves, but all right. Adios, everybody. Catch you in a couple days.
We'll see you Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah. All right. Good night.
Night.
That good.